Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was sealed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sasuke bashing. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by EroSlackerMicha and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. You fail. Naruto clenched his fist as he felt the ropes around him being cut. Jonin instructor Kakashi Haddock glanced at the three of them. Sasuke and Sakura will return to the academy. You Naruto are to report to the Hokage Tower administration's desk on the second floor. You will not be a ninja. How you became a genin even is wonder. Naruto nodded, numb. He wanted to rant. He wanted to scream. He had tried so hard and Kakashi just crushed his dreams. Why? Naruto asked as the Uchiha and his fangirl walked away. What's that? Kakashi asked bored. He didn't care for the Kyuubi container. He relished in the abuse he got to dish out and the bonus of failing him. Why can't I go back to the academy? I tried so hard. Kakashi decided to speak frankly. Because no one wants you to be one. You'll never be accepted. Your taijutsu is a joke, you have no skill in genjutsu and will not even speak about your lack of skills with ninjutsu. You don't belong in the noble field of the ninja. I'm filing my report thusly. Naruto looked down. I did more in this stupid test than the bastard Sasuke and Sakura ch. Kakashi laughed. You think flailing about like you're having a spasm means you did something, you need to get real, brat. You're nothing more than a burden to this village. Resources are wasted on your stupid pranks and the time it takes to catch you to clean them, not to mention the manpower the Hokage wastes on keeping you out of trouble from the villagers. Kakashi hated the time when he was Anbu and forced to rescue and watch the blonde boy. I was a fucking captain and I was forced to watch this thing as it paraded about wearing the image of my former sensei. Naruto was fighting to keep the tears back, but it was getting harder and harder with each word Kakashi spoke. Now, Uzumaki, report to the Hokage's tower, and I'll be there to file my report after making sure that the academy finds a suitable team for someone of Sasuke's caliber, and possibly a team where Sakura will work with that she isn't a detriment to. Kakashi vanished in a leaf shushin. Naruto finally alone broke down sobbing. I'll never be accepted. They all hate me. He thought, it repeated in his mind over and over. His tears fell to the ground as he collapsed to his knees and his body shook with heart-wrenching sobs. Saratobi watched as Kakashi appeared, he saw the look in the man's eye and he instantly regretted not watching the test. Report. He ordered. The other instructors were waiting as well. Team 7, consisting of Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and the demon brat. Haddock, I've spoken with you before about this. Use his name. The Hokage said, cutting over Kakashi. Fine. Naruto Uzumaki. Have failed. I have sent Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno back to the academy to be sorted with the next available group of students. And Naruto? Iruka asked from where he was acting as the Hokage's assistant for the day. I told him not to bother applying again. He has nothing that will make him a ninja. I told him not to bother and he can report to the tower later for assignment into a job class. The Hokage was pissed. Beyond pissed. The killing intent coming off him slammed into the room full of jonin and it brought them to their knees. How dare you, Haddock? The Hokage snapped. If you've done anything to that boy, I will have you assigned to permanent D-rank missions for the rest of your ninja career. If I let you live. The Hokage rounded his desk. I take it you vented your spleen on that boy while you had the chance. Kakashi nodded, it was hard to breath. Saratobi snarled. Iruka. Why yes Lord Hokage. The scar-bearing Chunin said. Find Naruto, bring him here. He then turned to the rest. Dismissed. The Hokage knew that if any of them stayed he would need to replace Jonin. He looked at Kakashi who was still on his knees. You better pray I can fix this, Kakashi. Why bother? The masked nin asked, the words coming to his lips hard as he found it hard to speak. Because you just crushed Minato-san's dreams. What? Kakashi asked, his single eye widening. But. Naruto is Kushina Uzumaki's and Minato Namikaze's son. Minato sealed the Kyuubi in his own son no less than an hour after his wife's death. Wife. But. I married them in secret. Minato went out of his way to protect Kushina from his enemies, both here in Konoha and outside the village. Only I, Jiraiya and Rin knew. Rin? Kakashi's eyes widened at the mention of his missing teammate. Why wasn't I told? Kakashi asked. Why should you be told? The Hokage asked. I remember your reaction when I showed you Naruto hours after Minato's sacrifice. Kakashi winced. He tried to kill the baby, had not the Hokage and Jiraiya been there he would have succeeded. Kakashi looked down and realized why he never been told and it made him feel even worse. Iruka looked everywhere for Naruto, the top of the monument, the training grounds, the raiment stand. What a time for my bloodline to fail me. He thought. He finally looked for Naruto at the blonde's apartment and winced seeing the amount of graffiti on the walls and the smashed door. He rapped on it and when he heard nothing he popped the lock. He stopped in the doorway seeing the damage. The living room and kitchen looked totally trashed. "Naruto?" he called out. Moving further into the apartment he saw evidence of fire and more graffiti. He's had it bad. Why didn't I ever know? Iruka felt sick of not checking on the blonde. I didn't really see him until the Mizuki incident a couple days ago. He entered Naruto's bedroom and turning on the light he winced. The dresser was knocked over and clothes were scattered all over the place. Iruka was turning to go when he saw something that stopped him. On Naruto's sleeping roll was an envelope atop Naruto's hit I-8, the one he gave him after beating Mizuki. Naruto wouldn't have left this behind. Iruka thought as he picked up the envelope and headband. He looked around and saw the pictures Naruto had been proud of were smashed on the floor. Did Naruto do this? Or was someone lying in wait for him? Iruka wondered as he left the desiccated apartment, fear blooming in his heart at the thoughts of what could have happened to the blonde. I best get this to the Hokage. Iruka thought of the envelope that was addressed in Naruto's messy handwriting to the Hokage. Iruka felt his stomach drop as he'd been unable to find the blonde for the first time since he started chasing him when he became his academy instructor or his regular times as a chunin. Please be okay Naruto. Don't let what Kakashi said to you force you to do something that could be dangerous. Saratobi looked at the letter for the third time since Iruka had brought it and Naruto's headband back. He couldn't believe it. Dear Hokage. I guess I should address you properly at least once. I've decided that Jonin Kakashi Haddock was right, I do not belong in Konoha and I should accept the fact I will never be allowed to be a ninja. It's okay I've come to terms with it. I should have seen it the first 2 times, hell even when Iruka-sensei put his hit I-8 on me after I stole the scroll from Mizuki team. I guess it's time. No one will ever see me as anything but the Kyuubi and I will never get a fair deal in Konoha. I'm tired Aji-san. Tired of the hate, tired of the beatings, tired of coming home to find the roach-infested apartment vandalized. I'm just so tired. So, I'm leaving. Since I never was a ninja I can never be marked as a missing nin, and as a civilian, well who cared? You and old man and his daughter at the ramen stand were the only ones to actually care. Iruka did after the scroll incident, but it was too late. I'm leaving. Face it Aji-san, where could I get a job in Konoha? Who would hire me? I'm not even allowed to shop for food or clothes, could you see me working anywhere in town fairly? Take care of yourself. You were the only family I knew of or had for as long as I could remember, and even that wasn't much as the village always came first over the cries of a lonely child. I might come back someday to visit, know that I'll miss you. Tell Iruka-sensei he can have his headband back, I'm sorry I was a lousy student. Tell old man Tucci and his daughter Am, I'll miss them and their wonderful ramen. Tell the rest of Konoha to kiss my ass. They never saw me, and they never knew me. And now, I hope they all rot in hell. Goodbye Aji-san. Naruto Uzumaki. Beneath the boy's signature was a chibi Naruto. He's gone. He's left Konoha. Saratobi nearly panicked. He wrote something on a scroll and sealed it. He then summoned a monkey. Find Rin and give this to her. The summoned monkey nodded and vanished in a puff of smoke. She'll find Naruto and watch over him. She's my only hope for gaining that boy back to Konoha in the future if ever. Saratobi looked at the stack of papers. He's the only one who can take this job from me. Miles away. Naruto Uzumaki with a simple pack slung over his shoulder walked the road. He walked out the gates of Konoha. The gate guard waved and said good riddance. While Naruto's response was to give the chunin the finger before running into the bushes while the man swore after him. Naruto kept the kunai that were thrown as they were in better shape than the ones he salvaged. See, already off to a better start. The blonde thought. He stopped at Tanzuka town and bought some newer clothes. I like orange, but that was my old life. He thought buying tan cargo pants, a black t-shirt and a new jacket that was like his old one, but it was black as well. Shopping had been an experience for him as he'd bought new clothes and food at reasonable rates and had plenty of money left over afterwards. His goggles were around his neck and he had slipped the kunai holster around his thigh. He pulled out a picture of him and the Hokage at the ramen stand from his pocket and gazed at it. It was a picture of his precious people, the only ones to care about him. He touched a finger remembering it. In the picture Am kissed him on his cheek while he was wearing the Hokage's hat. The Hokage next to him chuckling and old man Tucci was behind them holding a bowl of ramen in each hand over their heads with a grin. Goodbye. I'll miss you all. He thought touching the picture once more before slipping it into his jacket. He slipped off the beaten path, his eyes on the future. It was several days before he reached the port town. He found a ship that would take him beyond the mists, but he needed more money. Looking at the message board, he saw it was filled with odd jobs. See, this is what normal people do. They don't expect ninja to do everything for them. He thought as he found several small jobs he could do. And I can do more than one job at once thanks to the shadow clones. He thought of the painting and lawn care jobs. Taking several flyers down, he created clones and sent them on to do the assigned jobs. He then took a flyer for himself and after finding the address took up the task of dishwasher at a stand. The pay wasn't much, but it promised a place to sleep as well as 2 meals a day. I'll get money and take the first ship out in a month. He thought after learning that the ship that went to the world beyond the mists that kept the elemental nation separated from the rest of the world. The stand he found out was going out of business in the week and he had to find another job, which wasn't hard. He worked for a woman that created fireworks and the pay was well since the product had the off chance of exploding. Kahaku as she was called showed him that she'd lost her right arm when she first started when she made a batch too strong and it exploded when her brother had entered the shop smoking. A stray ash had set the whole thing off. Hahaha. I was lucky. All I lost was my arm, my hair and had light burns over half my body. She told Naruto as he packed a rocket. The two were friends and despite his clones, Naruto found the other jobs didn't pay as much as he liked since he had to rent an apartment and food. The amount I pay for the apartment here wouldn't have even paid a day's rent back in Konoha. Just shows how much I was being screwed there. He thought. Kahaku was next to him, her pipe was in her mouth but not lit as she was working as well. Despite the pain not many people wanted to work around things that go boom. So, you a ninja? She asked. Naruto shook his head. No. He said as he tied the fuse in inside. I failed the academy 3 times and no one wanted me in my village, so I left. No one? Kahaku asked. Naruto shook his head. I've been an orphan and I never knew my parents. The orphanage threw me out when I was 5. If it wouldn't have been for the Hokage, I would have died that winter. He got me an apartment and a monthly allowance, but it didn't matter. Why? Kahaku asked and Naruto could see her curiosity. The villagers hated me and for the longest time I never knew why. Naruto said softly. But you know now. Naruto nodded. You don't have to tell me kiddo. I'm just glad you're willing to help. She said around her pipe. May I ask you something? He asked. She nodded. Your pipe. Why do you carry it and put it in your mouth but never light it? She laughed. It was my grandfather's and it's a comfort. He taught me how to make fireworks. She said. When he passed away I use it to keep him close. Naruto smiled at her look. Now, let's finish this crate and I'll buy you lunch but only 3 bowls of ramen. She said. The first day she'd found out how much he could eat, he'd down 20 bowls when she offered to buy him lunch. Naruto laughed at this. Sorry about that again. It's just I hadn't found anywhere that made ramen as great as Ichiraku's and I'll admit Goroichi's is close. Kahaku smirked. It's alright. I should really watch it when I offer something. She wrapped another tube. Truthfully I thought you were going to ask me about my arm. Naruto shrugged. I'm curious, but it's cool. I mean I never knew prosthetics could move like that. Kahaku smiled. They usually don't. Usually the surgeons can connect some of the nerves. I was lucky. I was saved by the greatest medics around and she fixed me up and she knew someone who could make me an arm. Naruto listened as Kahaku continued. Well she managed to attach all the nerves and I was amazed at the amount of control the muscle and nerve attachments had. She handed him another rocket to put in the box. So, you gonna stay around here? She asked. No, I plan on using the money I make to buy a ticket on that steamship. Naruto said. The one that goes beyond the veil? Kahaku asked and Naruto nodded. I figure if I'm going to have a fresh start, it should be as far away from my village as possible. He said wrapping another tube after loading the powder. You certain you want to go? I hear the world there is vastly different than our own. Naruto nodded. I need to start fresh. Somewhere where they never heard of me. He said editing what he was going to say with the word demon or Kyuubi. Kahaku continued to work and would look at the whisker-marked blonde with her. Konoha. Hokage's office. Hiruzen Saratobi scowled at the 3 biggest pains in his ass. The answer is no. He said. Hiruzen, we must do this. To let it run loose. His name is Naruto and you can't place him in the bingo book. He was flushed from the ninja program by Kakashi Haddock. He said and no one could question the anger in his voice. So he can't be placed in the bingo book and that is for traitors and criminals, not for 16-year-old boy who is a civilian and left the village. Anzo, Kaharu and Homura all looked at him and he almost grinned at the frustration radiating off all 3 of them. There was a knock on the door and 2 people he did want to see entered. Iruka, please wait. The Hokage said and looked at the pains in his ass. This meeting is over. You will not issue anything on or about Naruto Uzumaki. You do and I will have the 3 of you executed, am I clear? They looked like they swallowed something foul. Leave. The Hokage ordered and once they did with a glare at him, he sealed the door and activated the security seals. The person with Iruka removed the Anbu armor and mask. Thank you for coming, Rin. I'm sorry I had to remove you from your mission, but things here have gotten very bad. The woman nodded. I've been away for so long, I asked Iruka about Naruto, but he didn't tell me anything. What happened? The Hokage sighed as he hadn't really said anything in the message he'd sent for her, and then he'd sent Iruka to escort her and give her the armor and mask to wear to hide her identity. Naruto hasn't had a good life, the Hokage began and stopped when he felt Rin's anger wash over him. You promised me. You promised me if I took this mission, Naruto would be safe, would be raised with care. Tell me everything. Now. Iruka was frozen as Rin glared at the Hokage, who shifted in his seat and spilled his guts from the day he conned her into taking the SS rank mission until Naruto leaving Konoha. He showed her the letter, one he'd read over and over again since that day. She scanned it and scowled. Kakashi. She growled and looked at the Hokage. What has been done about him? He's training the Uchiha under the supervision of Guy. He's been given a strict schedule to teach him by and nothing more or less. The only reason he's doing that is because the council pushed for the Uchiha not to be held back a year while a team was formed. Rin scowled. I see. The village kissed the Uchiha's ass. I suppose Fugaku is proud. The Hokage winced. The Uchiha clan is dead. I'm surprised you didn't hear about it. She scowled. My target didn't allow his women out of the house, servants did the shopping, and we were banned from the second floor. I managed to collect a lot of intel, but I won't be able to go back, I broke the collar to come here. The Hokage saw the light burns around her neck and knew her report would be something to read, but that would wait. I want to be released from service. Rin said, surprising him. I need to find him. And bring him back, the Hokage started to say. Wrong thing to do. Her killing intent put Iruka on the floor and the Hokage gripped his desk. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I will go and find Naruto, and I will do what I know his parents wanted and not only tell him about them, but I will train him if he still wants it and will protect him from anyone that means him harm. She put the mask and armor on the desk and pulled out her ID. I was listed as dead, so this is a formality. I can say one thing, if Naruto does come back, it won't be to stay. This village has done him and his father's wish a disservice. She turned to leave. Rin, wait. The Hokage called, stopping her before she got to the door. He pulled out a scroll. And this is his parents' jutsu library, as well as the Namika's fortune. I had it removed the day Minato died as many on the council were planning on stealing it. She took the scroll. As well as a recent photo the Hokage had taken with Naruto. Good luck. The Hokage said. And tell him I am sorry for failing him. Rin nodded and left. Iruka looked at the Hokage. You don't want her to bring him back? The Hokage sighed. She's right. We have no right to bring him back. His whole life. Iruka nodded. He'd used a henge to go around as Naruto for 3 days. What he'd learned had sickened him. He'd remembered who they were and then with Anko from the interrogation department and a squad of Anbu with the Hokage's orders began to arrest everyone who had overcharged and attacked Iruka while he was disguised. I wish her luck and hope she finds him well. He said. Me too, my boy. Me too. The Hokage said. Port Town. Kahaku smirked as Naruto looked at the supplies. Are you certain? I could. Kid, you helped me meet my deadline as well as numerous extras for the shop. This is the least I can do. She said, patting him on the back with her prosthetic hand. It had been a month and he'd enjoyed his time with a strange woman. You've got your ticket? She asked. Yeah, right here. He said, patting the inner pocket of his jacket. His pack held clothes, travel rations, and his pay Kahaku had gotten converted to gold bars since the money was different in the world beyond the mist and he would have to get the gold exchanged. You know, I think a lot of the shops around here are going to miss you, kid. You kept things light, friendly and did awesome work. Naruto scratched the back of his head. Aw, it was nothing. He said sheepishly. I just treated customers how I would like to be treated when I shop and went from there. Kahaku handed him a package. What's this? He asked. Smoke bombs, minor explosives. She gave him a glove that he recognized as the one she would wear to create a spark to light fuses. You remember how to use this? She asked and he nodded, putting the ring with the flint and tinder on his thumb and forefinger of his left hand. I can't take all this. You can and will. Use them for defense and there's some for enjoyment as well. She grinned. If you were just a few years older, she said with a grin. Naruto shook his head. Shameless flirt. He said. You bet your sweet ass I am. Kahaku said with a grin. Give me a hug, brat. She pulled him into a spine-cracking hug. He allowed it and was wrapping his own arms around her when he jumped and glared at her. Watch it. No playing grab ass. She laughed and hugged him tighter. Take care, Naruto. I'd hate to hear you got hurt. Send a letter every so often. He nodded and backed away after she released him. You take care. He told her before joining those boarding the ship. I will, Kahaku said softly. In the month he'd worked for her, he'd been hard-working, fun and energetic and never complained. "Wish there were a million like you," she said and waited until the boarding ramp was pulled up and the ship left the docks. It was on the horizon before she turned and headed back to her house and shop, wiping away the annoying tear. "Damn dust in my eye," she muttered as she walked the streets. Already the town seemed quieter, less cheerful without the blonde. Whatever village he was from, they were fools for treating him like shit and tossing him aside. "I hope someday I can have a kid like him," she thought and stopped seeing a woman in front of her shop. "Oh," she said and Kahaku saw she had short black hair and was wearing simple traveling clothes with a pack over her shoulder. "I'm closed for the day," she said. "That's okay. I was just looking for someone." "A boy, 16 years old," Rin said pulling out the picture of the Hokage and Naruto. She showed it to the woman. Kahaku looked and saw it was the blonde she'd just put on a ship. "Cute kid. Sorry, never seen him before," she said and turned to let herself into the shop. Rin sighed as she tipped her wicker hat. "I really need to find him. I've been gone a long time and I returned to our village to find him gone." "Are you sure you've never seen him before?" Kahaku looked at the woman's stance and the look in her eyes, and it was the eyes, they showed sorrow and concern. "Let me see the photo again," she said and looked at it. "I just saw him board the steamship to the world beyond the veil. They already left port and there won't be another one for a month," she said. "Damn it," Rin cursed. She turned to go and make arrangements when Kahaku spoke again. "If you're looking for a place to stay, you won't find any. The festival is starting and all the inns are booked." Rin cursed again. "I have a spare room and I'll charge you far less than one of those overpriced thieves." "Why?" Rin asked. "Because," Kahaku said with a shrug. "I knew someone who would do anything for anyone and you need help till you can find that boy." "Thanks." Chapter 2. Steamship. It is the 15th day aboard the ship and Naruto was content with the books he'd bought and was also studying the 3 school books he'd stolen when he was denied access to new books in Konoha and the books he'd been given had been gutted of anything useful. He saw where the teachers had tried to mess him up and scowled as he thought of all the people who tried to keep him down and push him into the gutter. "I'm glad I'm out of there. I've not been attacked once nor called demon since I've been gone." He thought of the merchants he'd met and the smiles they'd given him. The items he'd bought were new and the food was fresh. It was a new experience being outside of Konoha and it had solidified his decision to not look back. He had a letter and mailed it an hour before boarding the ship. "Aji-san should have it and know that I am gone. I hope he and old man Ichiraku and Aim-chan will forgive me." He would miss them, but 3 people who had lives of their own could not ease the pain he had been in while he lived in Konoha. "I knew old man Ichiraku gave me a discount on the ramen," Naruto thought as he'd eaten with Kahaku several times and he saw the amount it cost. He had learned to stay at 5 bowls since then and the fireworks maker had him eating healthier too and he found there was a wide range of foods he now liked. And candy. Rock candy, caramel, there are so many things I was denied in Konoha, he thought. His eyes went back to the book he had bought. It was about the outside world. So many things sounded interesting. Duel monsters. Sounds like a cool way to settle things, he said reading the recent history and the more he read about the worldwide game the more he liked it. But it'll be a while before I can get money to buy cards at Duel Disc, he thought as he made his list of things he'd do. First thing is to get a job and a place to live. He thought of the gold bars that were safely secured and wrapped in the bottom of his bag and that never left his back. He hid it with a hinge so it looked like his jacket. He read up and learned the languages and smiled and was glad that the old man had taught him the basics in several when he was younger. He made it a game and the better I learned the more ramen I got, Naruto thought. Some of the tech looks awesome. Cell phones for one thing. And the technology used around duel monsters is something. KC is one of the biggest contributors. Naruto read up about Seto Kaiba and his brother, along with Pegasus Crawford, the man behind the game, as well as the information about Yugi Muto, the king of games who won the title at Duelist Kingdom and reconfirmed it during Battle City, set up by Kaiba Corporation. Shaking his head he sighed. It's a dream that will have to wait. He thought putting the book about the game away and picking up the language book. He had a lot to do and they would be in port tomorrow. Kahaku's firework pavilion. Rin packed the boxes and turned the sign around after the last customer had left. Stretching her back she was amazed that the place did as well as it had. The festival had been something to see and she wondered if Naruto had ever gotten to enjoy one, but she doubted it. She'd finally learned from Kahaku that Naruto had stayed here for the month and worked several jobs around the town. When Rin asked her why she lied, the older woman told her about how Naruto had been so shattered and alone, it had taken 2 weeks to get him to open up about his life and how his old village had treated him. She and the other merchants had agreed that if anyone came looking, they were going to be sent on a wild goose chase. Then why tell me? Your eyes. Kahaku said after a moment. Your eyes show that you care. When you sit in your room at night staring at the picture. The woman sat and pulled out a jug of sake. Ripping the cork out with her teeth, she took a swig. The look in your eyes, I had that look when I thought I lost my little brother. He's alright, but I didn't know that for years. Kahaku took another swig. He's fine and you'll catch up to him. He plans on getting the gold bars exchanged and finding a place to live and a job. Rin sighed as she looked at the horizon. It would be 2 more weeks before the ship returned and she was saving up all the money she made and getting it converted for Beyond the Veil. Kahaku had been a help by giving her room and board free as long as she worked the shop every day. "So, you going to tell me about yourself?" Kahaku asked after drinking some more. "I was a genin under Naruto's father. My clan kicked me out when I was 11 because I couldn't bond with any of our family's canine companions. The clan head, my uncle, kicked me out the day I became a genin." Rin took the jug and allowed the alcohol to burn its way down her throat. Minato-sensei was loud, brash, at times I swear the man was an idiot. But in battle the man was a savant. Rin smirked as she recalled the man who moved her into his home and gave her a room to stay in. "I grew up with him as a father figure and when he met Naruto's mother Kushina, they didn't kick me out, they gave me a home." Rin looked back at the horizon. "I trained to be a medic, I was a skill thief and trap master." Rin looked at Kahaku. "When Sensei and Kushina married, I was there along with Minato's own sensei, and the Hokage married them. Neither of my teammates knew." Kahaku listened as Rin told her about Kakashi and Obito, the death of Obito and her transferring the newly awakened Sharingan to Kakashi when Obito had died, saving their silver-haired teammate. The arrogance of Kakashi as time went on. "When Kushina told me she was pregnant, I was excited as her." Rin shook her head and pulled out the photo of Naruto and the Hokage. "The day he was born, the Kyuubi attacked Konoha." Rin said and Kahaku raised an eyebrow. "Minato-sensei knew you couldn't kill a Bijuu, but he created a special seal to hold the demon, but he needed a baby, as the baby's chakra coils could grow and adapt to containing and absorbing. So moments after his son was born, his wife dead due to a hard labor, he went out and used his own life to seal away the Kyuubi into his own son, making him a Jinchuriki." "The what?" "A human sacrifice. His dying wish was that Naruto was to be seen as a hero. Sadly none save myself, Jiraiya, and the Hokage remained in Konoha knew Naruto was the son of Minato. The villagers swore he was the Kyuubi and tried to kill him. Kakashi tried to kill him hours after our sensei's death. Would have if Jiraiya and the Hokage hadn't stopped him." "Where did you go?" Kahaku asked as Rin took another drink before giving the sake jug back. "I was sent on a mission that very night. It was a deep cover mission and all would think I was killed during the Kyuubi incident. The Hokage swore to me Naruto would be cared for and I thought he could keep his word. I underestimated how little power he had once he took office the second time with the death of Minato-sensei." Kahaku shook her head. Anyone who spent 2 minutes with the kid could tell he was no demon. Excitable, loud, brash, but he's got a heart of gold. Rin smiled. "He's like his parents." "So what are you going to do when you catch up to him?" the fireworks maker asked. "Tell him about his parents, explain my absence and hope he lets me be in his life now." "Aren't you a ninja still?" Kahaku asked. Rin shook her head. "I resigned when I learned of what happened with Naruto. I grabbed all I owned, emptied my account and grabbed whatever I could that belonged to Naruto's parents and came straight on his trail." "How did you find him?" "I mean he looks the same, except he's wearing very little orange now." Rin smiled and pulled out a necklace. A dot on the inside moved towards the horizon when she held it up. "Before I left him with the Hokage I made a tracking necklace with a drop of his blood. If the stone breaks, it means he's dead and an image will form from the mist inside with the blood to show me who did it and I will avenge him." Kahaku whistled. "You ninja, always coming up with new things. Just think if you applied it to normal jobs." The kid used his clone technique and the shop owners loved him. He was a workforce unto himself. Rin smiled as she read the file she'd lifted from the Hokage's office before she left. She'd also visited Kushina's hidden vault as well as Minato's, taking everything and sealing them away into scrolls. "The fools never deserved you, Naruto," she thought. "You learning the Kage Bunshin in 3 hours proved that." She looked at the horizon once more and thought of all she would say to the blonde boy who looked like her sensei and from all she'd learned acted like his mother in many ways. "Here." Naruto looked at the docks as the rest of the passengers had already left. He shouldered his pack and slowly began to walk. "The famous battle city. I wonder if I'll get to see any duels," he thought as he walked. He saw numerous flyers and the city was teeming with people, many talking or just hanging about. Naruto got to see a duel as a kid younger than him fought against a guy with a deck of warriors against a variety of bugs. Naruto watched for a bit and sighed, wishing he could join in, but he needed to find a place to sleep and a job. He passed by the more pristine buildings, many sporting the KC logo and many sported another logo, but he wasn't certain what it meant. He saw it was getting darker and slipped down an alley for a shortcut. I really need a map. Naruto thought. He'd read that Battle City never slept and apartments were cheap as was housing. I'll need to find a bank. I doubt any are open this late at night. He thought as he walked. Hearing a sound that was very familiar, he peered around a corner and saw a group of toughs around a man in a suit and long silver hair. Gentlemen, if you're dissatisfied with the duels, then you should take it up with a judge. Don't give us that. You made him. A tough said. I did, but if you don't know how to play properly, perhaps you should take a workshop offered by the Kaiba Corporation. I hear they have a beginner's class. The man with the hair said. Naruto thought the man sounded far too sophisticated to be in this part of town, but he had read that people from all walks of life played duel monsters. He saw the man's duel disc was lying on the ground broken and the toughs were still wearing theirs. I could walk away. Naruto thought. It has nothing to do with me. For all I know the guy cheated. Naruto watched as one of the toughs laugh. It was a laugh that Naruto knew well. It was the laugh of a bully that knew he had friends to help him and that no one was coming to help. I just want to find a place to sleep. Was that too much to ask? He looked up at the sky and shaking his head, pulled the kunai he'd acquired leaving Konoha and forming the cross seal focused his chakra. Maskage Bunshin. Hey, less wonders. Naruto called as his clones used chakra to walk the walls and stand above the bullies. The leader turned and saw Naruto. What do you want, kid? We're busy. Leave him alone. Naruto said. Why should we? You know who this is, kid? Naruto shook his head. Not a clue. But being a bully and attacking someone for no reason will only cause trouble in the end. We have a reason. A tough said. Naruto was amazed none of them sensed his clones and not one looked up. The lousy cards don't do as they're advertised. Please. The silver-haired man said in an annoyed tone. You lost your duels fair and square. Just because you don't know how to chain attacks and traps together or the proper way to play your monsters is no one's problem but your own. This is about you losing a game? Naruto asked in disbelief. Shaking his head he looked at the gathered toughs. I'll give you to the count of 5 to apologize and leave, or else. Or else what, kid? You gonna bite our ankles? The leader asked with a sneer. Naruto shook his head and sighed. Or else I'll kick your asses. The leader snorted. You and what army, kid? Naruto pointed up and they followed it to see over 100 blondes looking exactly like the one standing before them. Me and my army. Naruto said. What the? Boss, am I drunk? Another thug asked. We ain't had anything all day. Another said. Shut up. The leader said. It's probably a hologram, like with the monsters. Naruto shook his head and leapt to attack. He pulled his punch and was surprised the man still went flying. Man, they're weaker than a first-year academy student. Naruto thought as the others were soon put down by his clones. The man with silver hair looked at him with a raised eyebrow. Very impressive, my boy. Thank you for stopping them. No problem. Naruto said and went to pick up his pack. You don't have a dual disc? The man asked as Naruto's clones dispersed. Nah. Just got into port and I don't have money, much less a place to live. Naruto said with a shrug. If you know where there's a bank so I can exchange currency and find a place to stay it would be helpful. Naruto said. My boy, I could do no less than give you a place to stay, but for saving me like that you must allow me to build you a deck. Not the free starter deck they hand out, no. That just simply won't do. The man walked around Naruto and looked him up and down. Tell me, my boy, has anyone ever said you give off the vibe of a fox? Naruto blinked. What do you mean by that? What the hell does he know? Hunting, free. The man brushed his hair aside showing a patch. Yes. I've been inspired once more. Come with me. The man said taking Naruto's shoulder and dragging him along. Hey. Wait a minute. I don't even know who you are. Naruto said. Oh? The man seemed surprised, then smiled. Well then, allow me to introduce myself. I am Pegasus Crawford. The creator of Duel Monsters. Naruto blinked as he recognized the name from the book he'd read on the ship. Pegasus dragged Naruto a block where they were met by a limousine and several guards stepped forward. Sir. Everything is fine now thanks to my young friend here. Pegasus paused. What is your name? Naruto Uzumaki. The blonde said as the silver-haired man dragged him to the car. My walk was interrupted until Naruto here stepped in and dealt with the riff-raff. Pegasus said. Naruto saw the guards exchanged looks. Now, then, take us to the apartment. Pegasus said and smirked at Naruto. Naruto, my boy, you with my guidance will be a force in the game of duel monsters like only one person I've ever seen before. Morning arrived and Naruto stretched as he had slept one of the best nights he'd ever had. The bed felt like he slept on clouds. He rolled over and saw it was well after 9 in the morning. Taking the time to shower and put on fresh clothes, Naruto wandered around the penthouse. The roof was all glass, which lit up the room fully. There was comfortable furniture and even a few displays of art. "Good morning, sir." Naruto turned and saw a butler. "Master Crawford asked that you enjoy his hospitality as long as you wish, he is currently in his workroom." Thanks." Naruto looked at the man uncertain. "Breakfast on the patio." The butler said and gestured with an arm for Naruto to follow, and the blonde had to agree, "I am hungry." He thought as he followed the man and saw that the penthouse had a patio as well as a beautiful garden. Naruto recognized some of the statues as replicas of Duel monsters. The fountain was a blue-eyed white dragon. He ate the literal feast and read the local magazine, which was full of Duel results from all over Battle City. He noted that the magazine came with booster pack but left it alone as it did belong to Pegasus. The man had asked him several questions last night and after bidding him good night, Naruto wondered what the man was planning as he wrote down several things and smiled as he muttered. Reading up on Battle City news, Naruto saw there was an ad for employment at a couple of stores and shops around the city. There were ads for apartments, but Naruto saw that the rent was negotiable and he wondered what that meant. Reading the magazine that came out once a week, he read that new duelists were given a base deck and duel disc they needed to register at one of the 5 card shops around the city. He also saw that Battle City didn't run on money, it ran on DP or duel points, which were little gold stars. Naruto spent the morning reading the magazine and saw that several national champions now resided in Battle City. Raptor and the others sound like they specialize. The American sounds weird with her teddy bear. Then the local heroes. From his talk with Pegasus, the man admired Yugi Muto and his circle of friends. And he's not very fond of the Kaiba brothers. Lunch came and went and still no sign of Pegasus. Naruto watched some television, but it was either news or duel footage. He watched a match between some kid with a blue arrow design on his head and using a deck of flying type monsters and healing and support take on a kid with warrior types and traps. It is drawn out fight and ended with the arrow marked kid winning simply because his opponent ran out of cards. And he had 6,500 life points left while the other kid only had 2,350. Naruto was still intrigued by the game and it seemed to rule the world as he saw a broadcast from Japan and they not only had duels but a show about a kid using duel monster cards to trap other monsters to build their decks. There was even talk shows about duel monsters and money and duel points seemed to be acceptable credit. Shaking his head, he told the butler he was going for a walk and would be back later. He got lost twice, but he found a shop and got a book of rules and regulations. He was asked if he wanted to get a starter deck, but he said he'd be back later, he wanted to learn more about it before he got involved. He did find a bank and opened an account and had the gold exchanged for both money and duel points, along with getting a bank card and papers. Naruto found a park and saw kids playing the game, many without the duel discs, but they used the public duel platforms. He watched and learned even more, and as the sun was setting he headed back to the penthouse. He arrived to find a smiling Pegasus waiting for him with a suitcase and a huge grin. "Naruto, my boy. I'm glad you returned. I have just come back from the printer and you are the first one to get this special deck and a limited edition special card I made for you after our talk last night." Naruto looked at the man as he pulled out a deck and shuffled it before pulling out a card. "Allow me to introduce to you the only Kyuubi no Kitsune card in existence, and it is yours." Naruto looked at the card and deep in his mind something gave an approving growl. The image was of a ferocious 9-tailed fox with a full moon and a forest. The eyes blazing and the tail swinging wildly behind it. Pegasus smiled. "I made special for you the Kitsune deck. Some of the cards are just reworks of previous cards, but with the fox theme." He handed the card to Naruto, who was enchanted with the image. It felt right to him and he looked at Pegasus. "I can't accept this. It's too much." "Nonsense, my boy. You saved my life, building you a deck and teaching you to play is the least I can do," Pegasus said with a grin. "Your duel disc will be here in the morning and we'll take you to get registered after breakfast." Naruto took the deck, but his eyes kept going back to the Kyuubi card and in his mind the spirit of the Kyuubi was pleased. Chapter 3. Crawford Penthouse. Naruto looked at the deck that Pegasus had specially made for him and one night he'd drawn up and had printed the deck that was now sitting on the nightstand. For several hours Pegasus taught him about his deck and answered questions and showed him the ins and outs of the Kitsune deck. Some of the cards will of course become mainstream, but there will be only one Kyuubi card and a couple of the other cards in your deck will be limited editions with maybe 50 cards made worldwide, Pegasus explained. Naruto found the man's Toon deck annoying, he did get a kick out of the Toon monsters and admitted that Pegasus was a great duelist. "Don't you play anymore?" Naruto asked. "Alas, I rarely have the time anymore. But that is fine. I do enjoy seeing others enjoy the game more than anything," Pegasus had told him. Pegasus warned him to guard his cards, there were people who would try and steal them or trick him out of his cards. "And for heaven's sake never allow anyone to hold your cards, even if you think you know them. Poor Yugi boy lost Exodia pieces allowing others to hold his cards. They played for duel points, well Naruto got points, Pegasus just pushed them back at Naruto and called them learning experience. Naruto sitting on his bed reached out and picked up the deck. It would take him time to get used to the card game, but the cards like Fox Knight and others were similar to already existing cards. He drew a card and saw that it was the Kyuubi card. "What is it about you that calls to me?" he asked. With a sigh he put the cards into the case and slipped them under his pillow. His head hit the pillow and he slipped into sleep, his right hand under the pillow, resting upon the cards. Mindscape. Naruto looked around at what looked like a sewer. It wasn't as bad as the sewer in Konoha. He knew that place firsthand as he used it to escape the villagers who wanted to hurt him. He saw that it looked like someone had recently begun to clean it up and he wished them the best of luck. He followed the tunnel for some time and realized there were no ladders or cross tunnels thus far. It's getting warmer. He thought as he followed the tunnel, which seemed to bend and there was a down slope. He walked for what seemed like hours and he came to a chamber which looked cleaner than the tunnels. There was a pool of water off to one side and he saw a gate with a seal. "So, you've finally come to talk," a voice said from the shadows behind the gate. Naruto blinked as a pair of red eyes opened and looked right at him. The Kahaku fireworks pavilion. Rin sighed as she closed the door to the shop for the night. "Not bad." She nearly jumped out of her skin and turned. "What do you want, Iruka?" she asked as the scarred Chunin stepped out of the shadows. "The Hokage asked me to check on you. I had a hell of a time picking up your trail, even with my Kekkei Genkai." Rin blinked. "You have a bloodline." Iruka smirked. "How do you think I found Naruto all those times? I have the ability to sense and track. I used to be on Anbu before retiring and becoming a Chunin instructor at the academy." Iruka laughed at the look on her face. "Yeah, no one knew I was in Anbu except the Hokage and my former teammates and the captain. After most of my team was injured, Hayate and I left Anbu. I wanted to teach and he needed to deal with his health." Rin shook her head. "Learn something new every day," she muttered. "So why are you working here in a fireworks store? I don't sense Naruto anywhere near here," Iruka asked. Rin smirked at this. "Naruto's gone. He's beyond the veil. I'm working until the next ship comes in and then I'm heading out after him." Iruka blinked. "What? He left the elemental nations. What do you expect?" Rin said. "His life here has been shit from the word go. I will say this and you tell that old busybody that Naruto was treated better by total strangers and shown that not everyone is like those in Konoha. I've talked to people that got to know him here and some of them know what he holds and their reaction was so what? They didn't give a damn. They saw a kid that worked hard and tried to make the best of it." Iruka looked down. "I know I failed him as a teacher." "You bet your ass you failed him. You and every damn person in Konoha failed him. And when your time comes to stand before the Shinigami, I pray that Minato-sensei is there and hears what Konoha did to his son and ignored his last wish." Rin went behind the counter. "Go back to Konoha, Iruka. I'll send letters every few months. But tell the old man, if Naruto doesn't want to come back don't try and force him." Iruka stepped towards the door. "When you find him would you tell him I'm sorry for failing him?" He slipped from the door and Rin sighed as she counted the money in the drawer. She stopped and sighed. "I'll tell him Yamino. But will he want to hear it is the question." "Mindscape." "Kyuubi," Naruto said. "Yes." The growling voice said from the shadows. "Listen, we're stuck with one another." Naruto began, but the fox in the shadows decided it wanted to speak first. "Listen to me, kid. You're right. We're stuck with one another. But more than that, I am bound to you and you to me. The Shinigami did a hell of a job." The Kyuubi still in the shadow paused. "I am sorry how your life turned out. I've been awake a short time and I've seen your memories." "How the hell can you do that?" Naruto asked. The tail poked out of the shadows but stopped before crossing the gate and gestured towards the pool. "I can see your memories when you sleep. It is my only real connection to the world outside. My chakra has flooded your system as designed by the blonde that sealed me here. You have developed several abilities that will pass on to your children. The healing factor, enhanced senses, reflexes." "That's well and good," but Naruto started but the fox continued cutting him off. "And I have become your dual spirit." "Say what?" Naruto asked blinking. The Kyuubi sighed behind the gate. "This game, Duel Monsters isn't new. It is old, older than I. In times past it used to be used for domination and control. Shadow games where the cost wasn't a couple pieces of metal or whatever else. It was fought for control of kingdoms and the cost wasn't marks or rankings. If you lost a shadow game you lost your soul." Naruto blinked. "That's. Duelists of old would make a pact or a partnership with the spirit of their cards. I am yours. I will help guide you in duels and if there is a shadow game, I will defend you." Naruto blinked. "Why?" "As I said. We are bound. And if I am to continue to exist, then your life is important to my own. Yes, in ways it sounds selfish, but in ways this is a partnership that will be beneficial to you. Naruto thought it out. Did you influence Pegasus in any way in designing your card? The Kyuubi laughed. No, I didn't. That mortal can see things, I sense he was touched by a millennium piece. Either the eye or… The what? Naruto asked. Nothing to worry about right now, kid. If they do come up, I'll tell you about them. Right now you need to learn how to duel and listen to this Pegasus. He's got insight to the game if he's the one who brought it back. Naruto sighed. Since I'm here, you care to tell me why you attacked Konoha? Not at this time, no. Maybe once we've gotten along longer. For now, rest, you're going to need it. Naruto sighed and he felt himself slipping into sleep for real this time. The Kahaku Fireworks Pavilion. Rin caught the box tossed at her by her employer. What's this? It had been a couple of days since Iruka's visit and Rin had spent more time looking at the picture of Naruto and his cheesy fox-like grin. One of my contacts who used to live beyond the veil gave this to me. You're going to need to learn about the world you're going into. The kid got some books, but my contact said this is basically the way of life there. Rin opened the box to see a strange device and a couple decks of cards and a small bag holding gold stars. Rin looked at her. The device is called a duel disc. You wear it on your arm. The cards are called duel monsters. Rin picked up the book in the box and read the title Duel Monsters for Dummies. Lovely. She muttered. A kid's game. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Everyone plays it. They don't have wars there, they have monster duels. Rin looked the book over and sighed. Opening the book she began to read. The thousands of cards to build. Battle City. Naruto looked at Pegasus. So, I just wander around the city and challenge someone to a duel. That's all you need to do. And my cards are registered. Pegasus smiled. I did that as soon as the first batch came off the press. You won't have any trouble, except for duelists who never seen your cards before. Meaning everyone. Naruto muttered. They'd spent the morning with Naruto dueling a couple of Pegasus's employees to get the general idea and they'd just registered him and got his duelist's ID. You're not going to follow me, are you? Naruto asked, stepping away. Pegasus laughed. Naruto sighed and walked off. Pegasus looked at one of his guards. Follow and record any duels he's interested in and those he takes part in. Yes, sir. The guard said and wandered off. Sir, you have your 1 o'clock with the Chamberlain. His aide reminded him. Yes. Work before pleasure. Naruto wandered around, his duel disc got some looks as it was midnight blue with orange markings. He clenched his fingerless gloved hand and wondered if he could go back and practice for a couple more days. He was wearing black cargo pants and a rust orange mesh muscle shirt under his leather jacket. His hair was spiked and his goggles were around his neck. He saw several duels taking place around as usual. He stopped at a cafe and bought an iced coffee while he looked at a paper he picked up. He marked several apartments that sounded promising. He was just about to read the daily duel results that were posted when someone stepped before his table. Nice looking duel disc you got there. I didn't think we could customize them. Naruto looked up to see a woman with short spiky brown hair, a feather earring and a battle vest. She had the standard duel disc and her hands were on her skirt-covered hips. It was given to me as a gift. Naruto said. You know how to duel? She asked. Just started. Naruto admitted. She gave him a predatory grin. I'll put up 200 duel points to fight you. Naruto sighed and pulled out his pouch. Fine. He finished his iced coffee and folded the paper and slipped it into his jacket. Here? He asked. She nodded. I'm Aurora. Naruto. He said as he flicked on his duel disc and reached inside his jacket and pulled his deck out and shuffled it. It's time to duel. They both put their 200 duel points aside and Naruto watched the meter activate 8,000. Naruto slipped his deck into the holder and then drew 5 cards. Aurora's LP. 8,000. Naruto's LP. 8,000. Since I'm the one who challenged, I'll go first. Usually we flip a coin or sometimes rock, paper, scissors. Aurora said and drew a card. Naruto looked on as she bit her lip. I'll place this card face down in defense and another card face down. She looked at him. Your turn. Before her was a face-down monster card and behind it either a trap, item or spell card. Naruto drew a card and looked at what he had in his hand. He grinned as he put down a card. I summon Vixen's brother for 1,800-600 in attack mode and place 2 cards face down. He said, placing the trap, magic or item cards. The hologram shimmered and a red-furred fox man with wings appeared with a spear. His tail waved behind him. He saw the look of surprise of Aurora's face at the appearance of a new monster. He went in to strike. Vixen's brother attacked the face-down monster. Aurora smiled and nodded. I activate negate attack, trap counter. She said, flipping the face-down card. Naruto's hand twitched, but he held off whatever he was going to do. Your turn. He said. Aurora. 1 face down. Naruto. 2 face down, Vixen's brother ATK 1800. Aurora's LP. 8000. Naruto's LP. 8000. He watched as Aurora drew a card and put another monster card face down. She doesn't have anything yet that can go toe-to-toe with Vixen's brother. But she might have something in her hand that needs a sacrifice. He thought as she looked at him. I end my turn. Naruto nodded and drew a card. His smile grew. I call forth Winged Vixen for 1300's 1400. He saw Aurora looking on as the winged fox woman appeared and floated into the air. Naruto wasn't done. I activate the magic card Fox Hunt Magic and bring forth Winged Vixen Sisters 6 1950's 2100 in attack mode. Aurora looked on as more of the winged fox women joined the first. What the hell? She asked. New cards that are coming out. Naruto said with a shrug. I have a friend who got me the first batch. Naruto said in explanation. I activate the magic equipment card Cyber Shield, Magic Equip and apply it to Winged Vixen. Aurora watched as Winged Vixen merged with the cyber armor for 1800's 1400. Naruto looked at Aurora. If you're wondering, a lot of the cards are just fresh ways on older cards. He told her and she nodded. I see the resemblance to the Harpy Lady and others with these so far. She said. Aurora. 2 face down. Naruto. Winged Vixen's brother ATK 1800, Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. Winged Vixen's brother attack. Naruto said the hologram attacked one of the face-down monster to reveal Air Marmot of Nefariousness, 2400-600, the beast was destroyed, but since it was in defense, Aurora escaped without damage. Naruto looked at her remaining monster card and called Winged Vixen Sister, attack. The trio of winged fox women dove from the sky and attacked the other card, which flipped over to reveal another Air Marmot, 2400-600. Once again Aurora was spared damage, but her monster was destroyed. Naruto looked at her. Sorry about this. Winged Vixen, direct attack. Aurora felt a tingling from the dual disc and hissed as she watched her life points drop. I put another card face down and end my turn. Aurora. 0 face down. Naruto. Winged Vixen's brother ATK 1800, Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. 1 face down. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Both duelists ignored the growing crowd who saw new monsters. Aurora drew a card and smiled. Something good, I hope. Naruto said. Oh yeah. Aurora said. But for now I put Giant Soldier of Stone, 3 1300's 2000 in defense mode and 2 cards face down, ending my turn. Aurora said. Naruto looked at the stone monster that was kneeling and knew it would take some effort to get around it. Aurora. 2 face down, Giant Soldier of Stone Def 2000. Naruto. Winged Vixen's brother ATK 1800, Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. 1 face down. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto drew a card. I summon Mystical Fox Girl, 4800's 2000, in defense mode. Naruto said, and a blue-furred fox girl appeared. You've got the whole fox thing going, I see. Aurora said. Naruto smirked. You ain't seen nothing yet. Naruto said and looked at the 2 cards in his hand that he was planning on unveiling soon. I just hope Pegasus is ready for the amount of calls he's going to be getting. Shaking his head, he ended his turn. Aurora. 2 face down, Giant Soldier of Stone Def 2000. Naruto. Winged Vixen's brother ATK 1800, Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. Mystical Fox Girl Def 2000, 1 face down. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Aurora drew a card and rearranged her hand. I put another Giant Soldier of Stone, 3 1300's 2000 in defense mode and end my turn. Aurora. 2 face down, Giant Soldier of Stone Def 2000, Giant Soldier of Stone Def 2000. Naruto. Winged Vixen's brother ATK 1800, Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. Mystical Fox Girl Def 2000, 1 face down. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto looked at the cards she had on the field and he did a quick calculation and nodded to himself. I activate the card Forbidden Summoning, Magical Ritual, and sacrifice Vixen's brother and Mystical Fox Girl, and summon forth Kyuubi no Kitsune, a 3100's 400, in attack mode. Naruto said, flipping the face-down card he'd had on the field. Everyone looked on as a huge nine-tailed fox materialized on the field and towered over all. Aurora looked up. "You've got to be shitting me." She was heard. The giant nine-tailed fox let out a monstrous roar. When Kyuubi is summoned to the field, he has the same effect as the Swords of Revealing Light, and that for the next 3 turns your monsters are locked in position. Aurora looked on at the fox. "What the hell is that?" Naruto smiled as he looked up proudly. "That is the Kyuubi no Kitsune. A fiend ritual monster. I need to pay a tribute next round to keep him. But for now, Kyuubi, take out one of those giants." Everyone watched as the nine-tailed fox let out another roar, and a tail slash destroyed one of the frozen giant soldiers of stone, but Aurora was unharmed as her monster was in defense position. Naruto looked at his hand and put a card face down. "I end my turn." Aurora. 2 face down, giant soldier of stone def 2000. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Effect 03 turns. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Aurora looked at the cards in her hand and with a shaking hand drew a new card. Naruto saw from here that it wasn't something she wanted as she was basically trapped by the Kyuubi's effect. She put a card down and ended her turn. Aurora. 3 face down, giant soldier of stone def 2000. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Effect 1/3 turns. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto drew his card and then Aurora watched as he discarded a card and his life points dropped 1000 points. "What the hell just happened?" she asked. "I had to pay 1000 life point and discard a card as tribute to keep Kyuubi in play. It's a one-time thing," Naruto informed her. The 1000 points was fine now, but in a duel where he summoned the king of the Kitsunes late could spell disaster. It was a double-edged sword as Pegasus explained it to him, and someone could mess it up with a spell card or a flip effect. "Kyuubi, take out the giant soldier," Naruto ordered, and the second soldier of stone joined its brother in Aurora's graveyard. Naruto then had Winged Vixen do a direct attack and Aurora's health dropped 1800 and the Winged Vixen sisters followed with another direct attack, taking another 1950. Aurora. 3 face down. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Effect 1/3 turns. Aurora's LP. 3450. Naruto's LP. 7000. "I end my turn," Naruto announced. Aurora pulled a card and looked at it. "I use a pot of greed, magic, and draw 2 cards. She looked at what she pulled inside. "I use graceful charity, magic, and draw 3 more cards," she said, and then following the requirements of charity's effect discarded 2 cards. "I put a monster card face down in defense mode and activate the spell card Red Medicine, magic, and activate the spell card Swords of Revealing Light, magic, and with that I end my turn," Aurora said. Aurora. 3 face down, Swords of Revealing Light, Effect 03 turns. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Effect 2/3 turns. Aurora's LP. 3950. Naruto's LP. 7000. Naruto smirked. "So this is a waiting game now," he said, drawing a card. Aurora shrugged. "I need time. Some of the cards you have are familiar and I just want to take the time to figure out a strategy, and that means keeping that big boy stable well, I think." Naruto smirked at what she called Kyuubi. "What you think, Fox?" he thought. "Grr. Beat her ass. She's wasting our time." The mental voice of the fox growled. "It'll have to wait 3 turns," Naruto thought with a smile. While he couldn't attack, he could marshal his forces. He drew a card. "I summon Fox Rider for 1400's 1200 in attack mode and end my turn. This is the part where things can go south." Naruto thought of the long absences of battle. Aurora. 3 face down, Swords of Revealing Light, Effect 1/3 turns. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Effect 2/3 turns, Fox Rider ATK 1400. Aurora's LP. 3950. Naruto's LP. 7000. Aurora drew a card and Naruto could nearly smell her frustration as she ended her turn without doing anything. The cards in her hand probably needs tributes in order to come to the field, and with my removing the giants from the field, I kicked that idea in the balls, he thought as he drew a card. "I put Arctic Fox, 2600-600 in defense mode and end my turn," Naruto said, and knowing that this was the last turn for the Kyuubi's effect to last. Aurora. 3 face down, Swords of Revealing Light, effect 2/3 turns. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, effect 3/3 turns, Fox Rider ATK 1400, Arctic Fox Def 600. Aurora's LP. 3950. Naruto's LP. 7000. Aurora drew her card and sighed. I use the spell card Final Flame, Magic, for a direct attack on your life points. Naruto winced feeling the tingle and knew it wasn't bad as his life points dropped 600 points. I use the spell card Dark Magic Ritual, and sacrifice 2 cards in my hand and the face down monster and summon Magician of Black Chaos, a 2800-2600 in attack position. Naruto watched as the spellcaster ritual monster arrived on the field. He saw it look up at Kyuubi with a dark look. I also activate the spell card Book of Secret Arts, Magic Equip, and equip it to Magician of Black Chaos, a 3100-2900. Naruto growled. With the current boost it would be a mutual wipeout between Kyuubi and the Magician. He looked at Aurora and saw that she looked more relaxed now that she had something that could go toe-to-toe with Kyuubi in attack power. I end my turn. She said with a smirk. Aurora. 1 face down, Swords of Revealing Light, effect 2/3 turns, Magician of Black Chaos ATK 3100 Book of Secret Arts, Magic Equip. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Fox Rider ATK 1400, Arctic Fox Def 600. Aurora's LP. 3950. Naruto's LP. 6400. Naruto drew a card and smiled. In his hand he had a card that was going to ruin her day. Why is it I don't think I like what's coming? Aurora asked. Naruto shrugged. Smart woman. I activate the spell card Kitsune Tail Swipe, Magic. Aurora found out what that was when both her Swords of Revealing Light and Book of Secret Arts cards vanished. It's like the Harpy's Feather Duster. She said in realization as she saw that his monsters could now attack and her magician's stats were back to normal and she saw that he wouldn't survive and with him in attack mode, she was boned. Aurora. 1 face down, Magician of Black Chaos ATK 2800. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Fox Rider ATK 1400, Arctic Fox Def 600. Aurora's LP. 3950. Naruto's LP. 6400. You wouldn't destroy a lady on her 3rd duel, now would you? Aurora asked. Naruto put a finger to his chin as if in thought. Yeah, sorry. But I need to win. He looked at Kyuubi. Kyuubi, take out the Magician of Black Chaos. The Kyuubi roared and the 9 tails went on and struck the magician. It exploded in a shower of light and with the difference in attack power, Aurora's life points took the 300-point difference and she bit her lip as the shock hit her from the dual disc. Aurora. 1 face down. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Fox Rider ATK 1400, Arctic Fox Def 600. Aurora's LP. 3650. Naruto's LP. 6400. I'm sorry Aurora, but this match is over. Winged Vixen attack her life points directly. Aurora winced as her life points took another hit and she got shocked more as her life points dropped 1800 points, leaving her at 1850. Naruto ordered Winged Vixen Sisters to do the same and Aurora yelled out as the shock hit her and her life points went to 0. Aurora. 1 face down. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic Equip, Winged Vixen ATK 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, Fox Rider ATK 1400, Arctic Fox Def 600. Aurora's LP. 0. Naruto's LP. 6400. Naruto collected his cards and put them back into his deck and put that away while shutting off his dual disc. He looked at Aurora and knew from his losses to Pegasus how much that shock hurt. It was incentive for a person to win. He collected the dual points and slipped them into a separate bag and into another inner pocket. He approached Aurora and when she looked at him, offered her his hand. Good duel. He said. She looked at his hand and straightened. Good duel. Were you paying attention? You kicked my ass. Naruto's grin faded. There's no reason to get mad. The hell there isn't. You come here with a special deck and think it's nothing. Aurora said. Hey, you and everyone else has the same chances to make a deck. As I told you while we dueled that a lot of the cards will be released. That big fox won't be. Aurora said. Naruto nodded his head at that. True. He's the only one in existence. But there are other cards like that as well. You just need to. Save it, fox boy. Aurora said, putting her cards in the built-in holster and turned to walk away. She stopped and looked over her shoulder. I'll put a deck together and next time I'll kick your ass. Naruto smiled. I look forward to dueling you again, Aurora. She walked away and Naruto realized she wasn't mad at him, she was mad because she hadn't built a proper deck. Naruto turned to listen as people clapped and many were talking about the fox cards and many were planning on hitting the card shops. Naruto pulled the paper out and looked at it. As nice as Pegasus's penthouse is, I'm scared I'll break something priceless. Now let's see duel rent. This I've got to see. He thought as he stopped to get a sandwich and soda to go. The new dueling makes me hungry, it's like being a ninja. Adrenaline and excitement all in a game of strategy. Walking down the street, Naruto whistled a jaunty tune as his life beyond the veil was positive, and the best thing was, people weren't throwing things at him or calling him demon or monster. Chapter 4. Apartment. The duel rent option had been fun. Baba and her spellcaster deck had been tough, but he ended up winning and only having to pay 100 DP a month. The apartment came stocked with appliances, furniture and even some dishes. The only thing he had to buy was clothes, food and he would be set. You like it? Baba asked. Yeah. Naruto said. The living room was rather large and the balcony gave him a great view of the city. The kitchen was small and there was only one bedroom, but it was nearly as big as his apartment in Konoha. He looked at her. Are you sure? Baba laughed. Child, Battle City was built for duelists. Domino City is a mile away and many live there as well. I have a deal with the city. I can either charge $1,000 or duel points or duel you. The only reason you're paying 100 this month is mainly for paperwork processing. She laughed. If I duel you next month I have a feeling you'll be getting this place for free. Naruto scratched the back of his neck, he wasn't used to being treated fairly still. Kahaku's actions to him before crossing the veil notwithstanding. Thanks Baba. She waved a wrinkled hand. I like you kid. You're honest and I have a good feeling about you living here. She gave him the apartment key and there were 2 other keys on the ring. The round one is for the mailbox downstairs. She explained. The other is for the roof. It used to be a garden, but I'm too old and none of the other 3 tenants care. Naruto smiled. You'll be the only one to have access if you wish. She said. He nodded as he was already forming ideas. Only 3 other tenants? He asked in surprise. The building had to have room for at least 10 if his apartment was anything to go by. A lot of duelists live at home still, and there are more up-to-date apartment buildings. Baba told him how her building had been here before they built Battle City around the village that had been there. We didn't have much, maybe a population of 500. She said. When Kaiba Corporation built Battle City around us, it changed everything and brought a much-needed aid to us all. Naruto thanked her and told her to remind him when it was time to pay her duel. I lose track of days. He explained. She chuckled and wished him well before heading back downstairs. Naruto needed to talk to Pegasus and get his bag. He looked around the place that would be his home and smiled. Crawford Penthouse. Ah, Naruto my boy, how was your day out and about? Pegasus said, he already knew, but it was polite to ask. Had some fun, won a duel. Naruto said after entering. I know. We got a lot of calls about the Kitsune deck. Pegasus said with a smile. Card shops are eager to get the new cards. Naruto nodded. I found an apartment. Pegasus smiled. You're not mad? Naruto asked. Not at all. I figured you would look for a place. You're always welcome here. He said with a smile. He handed Naruto a briefcase. What's this? Some cards. I've also gotten you a subscription to Battle City News, the Duel magazine and Duel Weekly, which comes with 5 cards. Naruto looked at the man. Why? Pegasus smiled. Just helping someone who needs it. Naruto got the feeling that there was more to it. But accepted the help. Here, this is a cell phone, if you need help, call, my number is in the memory. It's paid up for a year in your name. I had one of my employees set it up for you. Pegasus explained. Naruto thanked him and left after getting his bag. Pegasus smirked and looked at the guard. I want all of his duels recorded. Yes, sir. Naruto's apartment. He stretched his arms and sighed. He had been in Battle City now for a week. Getting dressed for the day, Naruto turned on the TV. And in Battle City News, Naruto the Fox continues to decimate opponents as his win over US national champion Rebecca. Naruto shook his head. He'd been enjoying a nice lunch when Rebecca with Teddy had approached him and demanded a duel. They had a duel and Naruto had been lucky in his draw and managed to sacrifice the cards in his hand to put Kyuubi on the field right away, giving the Kyuubi a defense of 1000 with the 5 foxes in the graveyard. Rebecca had been shocked as Kyuubi steamrolled her monster and in several rounds with a few more foxes on the field, he got the win. He collected the 1000 duel points she had put up and walked away as she cried to Teddy about him being a meanie. Slipping his dual disc on, he adjusted his vest. Battle City was too damn hot for the jacket, and he bought a battle vest with an inside pocket for his cards, and he bought a pouch for the duel points he won. He had to admit he was taking to dueling like a duck to water. Or like a fox in the henhouse. Naruto thought and heard the snicker in the back of his mind. Kyuubi loved duel monsters and gave Naruto mental pointers and even mock-dueled with him in his mind. Grabbing his apartment keys, he locked the door behind him and wandered down the hall to the stairs. "Morning, Naruto," old Baba said. "Hey Baba," Naruto said. "Any mail?" he asked. She checked the box and shook her head. "Nothing yet, but the mailman has been running late," she said. "I think he's been either dueling while he's working or he's been watching duels while he's supposed to be delivering the mail." Naruto laughed. "The city is duel crazy," he muttered. "Well, I'm off. See you tonight," he said and waved to her as he left. Baba smiled. "He's such a nice boy," she thought and hoped that he would make some friends soon. Naruto walked the streets of Battle City. Several die-hard players were up and using the public duel stations to fight. Naruto got himself some coffee and stopped at the Clock Plaza. He liked the city early in the morning as it was quieter and he used the time to stretch his senses out. "Hey kid, looks like your fan club is forming," Kyuubi mentally teased him. He looked up to see a couple of the younger duelists wearing fox shirts. "Don't you mean your fans, Kyu?" Naruto sent back to the fox as it was the Nine Tails image on the shirts. "Yeah right. Snort, they associate the fox with you. In a week you've become a local hero," the Kyuubi sent to him. Shaking his head he got ready as the first challenger of the day was approaching. "Mr. Fox sir. My name's Naruto." "Tyler I'm Tyler," the 12-year-old boy said. Naruto smiled. "You want to duel?" he asked the younger boy. "Really? You would duel with me?" Tyler asked in surprise. "Sure, why wouldn't I?" Naruto asked flipping on his duel disc as the LP counter clicked up to 8,000. "Be because you're the fox, a famous duelist," Tyler said. Naruto blinked. "Famous? I just started playing not more than a week ago." Tyler looked at him as if he was lying. "My first duel was against a young woman named Aurora," Naruto said and showed his duel badge to Tyler. "See, here's the date I started." The younger boy looked at Naruto in shock as he pulled his duel disc out of his backpack. "I have to do this quick, I sorta skipped out of biology class," Tyler said as one of his textbooks fell from his bag and he gave Naruto a sheepish look. "It's okay," Naruto said pulling his cards from the hidden pocket and after shuffling them he slipped them into the holder on the duel disc. Tyler he saw do the same. "Stakes?" Naruto asked. I only got 50 DP on me," Tyler said sheepishly. "Okay, how about your 50 DP against?" Naruto pulled out a small pouch. "My 200. Tyler looked at him in shock but nodded as Naruto smiled in encouragement. "It's time to duel," Naruto said as he and Tyler did rock, paper, scissors. Naruto won deciding to go second. Tyler drew 5 cards and then during his draw phase pulled a new card. "Light, here I go. I summon this monster in defense mode and end my turn," Tyler said. "That was the thing with going first, you couldn't attack until the next round." Naruto drew his 5 cards and mentally smiled as Kyuubi laughed in his head. He drew his 6th card and shook his head. "I put monster card face down and 2 more cards face down and end my turn," Naruto said. He was curious as to what Tyler could do and didn't want to crush him right away. "Tyler. 1 face down." Naruto. 1 face down, monster, 2 face down. Tyler's LP. 8,000. Naruto's LP. 8,000. Tyler licked his lips and drew a card before entering the first main phase. He pulled a card. "I summon Beaver Warrior for 1,200's 1,500 in attack mode." The armor-wearing Beast Warrior appeared and Naruto wasn't worried yet. "I flip my other card up to attack mode," Tyler announced and it revealed Nekagul number 1 and 3 1,100's 900. Tyler smiled and pointed. "Nekagul number 1 attack his face-down monster." Naruto let it happen and the card revealed Mystical Fox Girl for 800's 2,000 kneeling with her hands in prayer. Tyler groaned as it did nothing and he ended his turn as neither of his summoned monsters had the power to take the blue-furred fox girl down. "I end my turn for now." Naruto drew a card and looked at his hand. "I could do it now, but I have a feeling the kid's got something else." "Good idea to hold off, it's still early," Kyuubi mentally agreed. "I summon Vixen's brother for 1,800 600 in attack mode and place another card face down." 3 cards were in the backfield. "I have Vixen's brother attack your Beaver Warrior." Tyler winced at the shock of his life points getting the difference as his Beaver Warrior was destroyed. "I end my turn," Naruto said. Tyler. Nekagul number 1 ATK 1100. Naruto. 3 face down, Vixen's brother ATK 1800, Mystical Fox Girl Def 2000. Tyler's LP. 7,400. Naruto's LP. 8000. Tyler had already drawn his card and put a card face down in the monster zone. And he put a card in the backfield as well face down. I move Nekigel number 1 into defense position and end my turn. The younger boy said. Naruto drew a card and added it to his hand. He took one of the monsters and summoned it to the field. I summon Fox Rider for 1400 in attack mode and have him go after your Nekigel. Tyler sighed and flipped a card. I use negate attack, trap counter. He said and relaxed as Naruto's attack was stopped. I end my turn then. Naruto said. Tyler. Nekigel number 1 def 900, 1 face down, monster. Naruto. 3 face down, Vixen's brother ATK 1800, Mystical Fox Girl def 2000, Fox Rider ATK 1400. Tyler's LP. 7400. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto watched as Tyler drew a card, his own eyes going to the 2 cards in his hand. If I play these, it might be overkill. He thought as Tyler put a monster card face down and ended his turn. Naruto drew his card and made a decision. I put down Forbidden Summoning, Magical Ritual, and sacrifice Vixen's brother and Fox Rider to summon Fort Kyuubi no Kitsune, A3100 in attack mode. He looked across the way and saw the look in Tyler's eyes as the Kyuubi rose above the field, 9 tails waving wildly as it let out a roar. Wow. Tyler said. Naruto agreed. He nodded. Kyuubi attack Nekigel number 1. Tyler was thanking whatever gods he prayed to that he had put her in defense mode as his monster was destroyed. Naruto shook his head and ended his turn after reminding Tyler about the Kyuubi's special ability and he wouldn't be able to attack for 3 turns. Tyler. 1 face down, monster. Naruto. 3 face down, Mystical Fox Girl def 2000, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, effect 0 3 turns left. Tyler's LP. 7400. Naruto's LP. 8000. Tyler drew a card and sighed as he ended his turn. Naruto drew a card and discarded it and felt a tingle as his life points dropped 1000 points as he made the sacrifice to keep the Kyuubi on the field. I use Pot of Greed, magic, and draw 2 more cards. Naruto looked at the 2 cards in his hand and smiled. I use another Pot of Greed and draw 2 more cards. Looking the 3 cards over he smirked as he really wanted to test the cards out and now he could. I use Polymerization, magic, to combine Time Fox, 2 500s 400, and Vulpix, 3 1200 700, to create 1000 Vixen, 7 2400s 2000, and summon her in attack mode. The image of a fox with a clock on its belly, merged with a cute little 9-tailed fox with reddish fur and cute puppy dog-like eyes. When the polymerization took place they were merged, and in their place was a 1000-year-old kitsune nearly as big as the Kyuubi and sporting white fur. I laid down Fox Kingdom, magic field. Tyler watched as the area was overlaid with the illusion of a field and looked at Naruto. It raises the attack power of all fox-like creatures by 600. Naruto said and he laughed at the whine that Tyler made. 1000 Vixen, take out his face-down monster attack. The giant white 9-tailed fox lashed out with her tails and the face-down monster exploded without ever being seen, letting Naruto know that it hadn't even been worth worrying about. Now that is out of the way Kyuubi attack. Tyler screamed at the jolt from the dual disc as his life points took the direct hit. I put my last card face down and end my turn. Naruto said as he looked at Tyler hoping the kid was alright. Tyler. Naruto. 4 face down, Mystical Fox Girl def 2000, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3700, effect 1/3 turns left, 1000 Vixen ATK 3000, Fox Kingdom, magic field. Tyler's LP. 3700. Naruto's LP. 7000. You okay? Naruto asked as Tyler was trying to steady his breathing still. Why yeah. Wow, that's a hell of a shock. Tyler said. You want a couple minutes? Naruto asked. And no. I need to finish this. Tyler said. Naruto watched as he drew a card. I use the spark spell and attack your life points directly. Naruto winced as 600 points were deducted from his counter. He ignored his face down cards, deciding to let Tyler get in a hit on him. And I summon Giant Soldier of Stone, 3 1300s 2000 in defense mode and end my turn. Naruto almost felt sorry for the kid. He had nothing or he needed a major tribute to get his cards. Drawing his card, Naruto blinked and entered the first main phase of his turn. I use Book of Kitsune Arts, magic equip and give it to Mystical Fox Girl, which raises her attack and defense by 300 points. Mystical Fox Girl, 4 1100s 2300, I keep her in defense mode. Naruto said and looked at Tyler. Sorry about this. 1000 Vixen, take out the giant soldier. The Vixen did her job and the Stone Guardian was destroyed in a display of light. Now, Kyuubi attack his life points. Tyler winced as the blow landed and the last shock was just as bad as the previous one and he dropped to his knees as his LP display went to 0. Tyler. 0 cards. Naruto. 4 face down, Mystical Fox Girl Def 2300, Book of Kitsune Arts, Equip, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3700, Effect 1/3 turns left, 1000 Vixen ATK 3000, Fox Kingdom, Magic Field. Tyler's LP. 0. Naruto's LP. 6400. Naruto deactivated his dual disc and slipped his cards away. He walked over and offered his hand to Tyler. Thanks. The younger boy said and handed Naruto the DP. I wouldn't take these, but I made the wager. Tyler said. And I get to tell all my friends I dueled the fox. Tyler looked at his watch and grabbed his bag. Thanks, I need to go. Naruto watched the kid leave and wondered even the kids are friendly. He must. Food. Naruto chuckled at his dual spirit and decided to get some coffee and look around the city some more. Sidewalk Cafe. Naruto relaxed as he looked at a nearby monitor as Rex Raptor defeated another person. We could crush him. Kyuubi said looking at the dinosaur monsters with disdain. I'm sure we could. I just want to learn the ropes and get more comfortable with my cards. Rebecca surprised me. Kyuubi's snort rang in his ears as he finished his coffee and stood to throw it away. As he was rising and turning he accidentally bumped into someone. Oof. That someone was female. Naruto looked at the girl he'd knocked to the ground, her coffee cup several feet away. A pair of brown eyes were looking at him from behind the bangs of brown hair. I'm sorry. Naruto said to the girl who was his age. He reached down to help her up. Let me buy you a new coffee to apologize. The girl blinked and Naruto realized she was looking at his whisker marks. Birthmarks. He said. I'm Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. The girl realized she was staring and blinked. T. Gardner. And it was my fault, I've been rushing around all day and wasn't watching where I was going. Naruto made sure she was steady by holding her arms. Oh, you're a duelist. T said. Naruto shrugged. Just started a week ago. You? T shrugged. A little bit. I want to be a dancer. She looked away and Naruto saw the look in her eyes, a look he knew well. Want to bend my ear? I'll buy you a new drink and a couple of those fresh cookies. He offered. T blinked and saw his offering smile. Please. It's either talk to a pretty girl or go back out there and I know I prefer the first choice. T blushed at being called pretty and nodded. Fine. I must warn you, it's a boring story. I'm sure anything you have to say is far from dull. How about this, you tell me your tale of woe and I'll tell you mine. T grinned as Naruto offered her his arm. I must warn you, I can talk your ear off. Naruto chuckled. Something about her. Kyuubi kept quiet. Kahaku's fireworks pavilion. You have everything? Kahaku asked Ren. Yes. I swear you're worse than a mother. Ren said with a mock sigh. She in fact was going to miss the woman who'd helped her. You have your deck and dual disc. Ren patted the duffel. I'll work on my deck some more once we're at sea. Are you sure you won't let me pay you for this? Nope. You just find Naruto and give him a noogie from me. Ren nodded. The deck and disc and everything had come from a person Kahaku knew and she just handed it to Ren. I will. Are you sure you don't want to come with? Kahaku bit on her pipe. Are you kidding? Adventure bah. Excitement bah. I have enough things to worry about blowing myself up. Traveling beyond the veil I'd rather blow myself up again. Ren nodded and accepted the hug from the woman as the steamship's boarding ramp lowered. They don't get any downtime do they? Kahaku laughed. The amount of money they get paid, they don't mind. The crews switch out every 3 months to avoid burnout. Ren looked at her. I'll send a letter after I've had time to get ashore there. Good luck. Ren nodded and boarded the ship. A letter she left with Kahaku was going to be sent to Konoha 3 days after the ship left. Kahaku once more watched someone sail away. She realized the dockmaster was calling for her. Mail. He said and she accepted the letter and a couple of magazines. Kahaku was written in the familiar script that she recognized as Naruto's. Ripping open the letter she scanned it once, then blinked. Reading it again she opened the magazine to the page marked and blinked at the title. Battle City invaded by Fox Duelist. The subtitle was just as eye-opening. Rare Kyuubi cards seen destroying competition. She started to read the articles and Naruto's script in the margins. Hey Kahaku, my first few duels made the local paper. I'll send you more when I can. Here's my address. She shook her head and looked at the steamship on the horizon and smirked at what Rin was going to find. The mail was late getting out and they sent on a machine called a helicopter to catch up with the ship. Take care and I'll send you more in time. It was signed. Naruto Uzumaki. The Fox Duelist, formerly of Konoha. Knock 'em dead kiddo. Kahaku said and headed for the tavern to share the article with those that Naruto knew and had come to care for him during his short stay here. I hope Rin finds him easy enough. She thought looking at the city map Naruto had included. She said that he marked on it where he lived and smiled at how popular he seemed to be already in the city ruled by dueling. Chapter 5. Cafe. No way. T said in surprise and laughter. Oh yeah. I was a prankster of the highest order in my village. Naruto said. Wow. And you came here, T prompted. I needed a change and a friend suggested it. He said with a shrug. He edited a lot of information and changed him getting kicked out of school instead of being kicked out of being a ninja. So, what about you? What about T Gardner? She shrugged. I go to Domino High with several of my friends. When not hanging with them, I work numerous jobs to save money for a dance school in New York. Dance school? T blushed. A dream, but after visiting my aunt over the summer I'm back here. Naruto caught the note of sadness. What's wrong? T shook her head and looked across the way. Come on. Let's do something fun. My treat. She grabbed his hand and dragged him from the cafe and across the street before he could utter any sound of protest. Naruto found his attention on her hand in his and how it seemed a perfect fit. Shaking his head he saw she was leading him into an arcade. Video games? I'm shocked. He said. He looked over her shoulder and gave him a grin. Naruto smirked and once more found his eyes traveling down her yellow shirt-covered back to the shapely figure concealed by the black skirt. He noticed her own dual disc and smacked himself for not seeing it before. He saw she kept her cards in the carrier on the disc and was wondering what card she played with. Once inside the arcade, Naruto blinked as his eyes adjusted from the bright light of day to the dimly lit interior of the arcade. The dim lights and hundreds of arcade game screens were the only illumination. The sound of quarters being exchanged filled the air along with the sounds of electronic battle. He led him past all the games to the back where there was a wall screen and he saw several pads on the ground. Do you ever play? T asked. Naruto shook his head. Never danced before either. At this he saw her grin and knew she was going to give him one hell of a workout. He went and exchanged DP for tokens while Naruto studied the pad. He watched other play down the way and knew he could do this. He came and slipped the tokens in and grinned. Ready. As I'll ever be. Naruto agreed and T started the game. For as mobile as he was, Naruto found the first time difficult as he would forget where to put his feet. Not too bad. T said. Ready for the next level. Naruto took a steadying breath and nodded. Let's do it. They spent the next 15 minutes dancing on the pads and Naruto improved with each round. When they finally stopped T dragged them towards the juice bar. What do you have? She asked. Banana smoothie. T nodded and came back to their table with 2 smoothies. They relaxed and T teased him. Hey, I got better as I got used to it. Naruto defended himself. T nodded. You did. You used to be on a sports or gymnastics team? She asked. Naruto thought about it. I guess it was. We did all kinds of obstacle courses and sparring. Wow, I know I'm not a fighter. She gestured around. I prefer simpler things as you can see. Nothing wrong with that. Naruto said sipping his smoothie. I know you're dying to ask. T said. About. Naruto feigned ignorance. You want to know how my trip was? T said and Naruto nodded. But I thought it was still too soon to ask. T smiled. It's okay. I feel like I can trust you. My friends don't know yet, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell them that I failed the audition. What happened? Naruto asked softly. T sipped her smoothie and sighed. I froze. The instructor started to ask me all kinds of questions and I couldn't answer them. She sighed. Apparently they want someone built like a 9-year-old boy. T shook her head. And starving oneself is not a means to an end. So now what will you do? Naruto asked. Well, as I said earlier, I'm attending a local dance studio. Just because some snobs in New York didn't like me and wanted a small fortune to dance, I'll continue working odd jobs and enjoying life. What about you, Naruto? She asked. Not sure. I'm trying to find myself right now. Naruto said with a shrug. What about regular school? T asked. Surely you want to at least get a decent education. Naruto shrugged. It's an idea. T could see he was thinking about it. Another game? She asked with a grin. Sure, but not so fast this time. Naruto said and they went to machine. T was just about to put the tokens in when a hand grabbed her wrist. Hey. Not so fast, little girl. She turned to see a big brute and a girl with him sitting on his shoulder. This is our machine. No one was using it earlier and we've been using it for the last couple hours. T said and pulled her hand out of the bigger man's grip. Pen, let them have it. The girl on his shoulder said. Nah. We've had this machine since the arcade first put it in. The girl had green hair and pigtails and couldn't be an older than 9 poked Ken in the side of the head. How about you duel her boyfriend for it then? Naruto choked on air hearing the kid calling him T's boyfriend. Ken sneered. But Suki, he's just a runt. The now identified Suki poked him again. It's the fair thing to do. Besides you haven't dueled today. He looks weak. T looked at Naruto who shrugged. Fine, but it's a duel and a dance off. Ken said holding up a couple of game tokens. He has to beat me at both the duel and the dance. T looked at Naruto again. Can you do it? Don't know, never done anything else while dueling before. Naruto admitted. We can do something else. T said and Naruto heard the longing in her voice. He had to admit she seemed to glow while she danced. No. We had this first and you're having a good time, right? T nodded that she was. Then I'll win it for you. Naruto said giving her a fox-like grin and stepped up. Let's do this. Ken smirked as he pulled out his dual disc and activated it as Naruto did. Both LP counters entered as 8,000. Suki put the tokens in for the machine as both Naruto and Ken shuffled their decks. T flipped a coin with Ken calling tails. It was heads. I'll go second. Naruto said as he and Ken drew 5 cards. Ken nodded as he started dancing. His big feet hitting the pad with a practiced ease and Naruto was forced to keep up. Ken drew a card and set one monster card face down and another card in the backfield face down. Go short stuff. Naruto nodded and drew a card. He put 2 cards face down in the backfield, his feet hitting the proper sequence as he pulled a monster from his hand. I summon Vulpix, 3 1200 700 in attack mode. Go Vulpix. He ordered as his feet made the correct arrows. Ken laughed. Nice try. Negate attack, trap counter. Naruto nodded as he continued to hit the correct button combinations. He saw the dance duel wasn't easy for Ken either. I end my turn. Naruto said as he continued to follow the patterns on the screen. Ken. 1 face down monster. Naruto. Vulpix ATK 1200, 2 face down. Ken's LP. 8000. Naruto's LP. 8000. Ken managed to perform a series of twists and turns to hit the proper combination. Even as he turned he managed to draw his card. I summon Armored Lizard, 4 1500s 1200 in attack mode. Take out that Vulpix. Ken ordered and while doing so missed several combinations on the dance pad. Naruto shook his head. I counter with Mirror Force Trap, he said flipping one of his face down cards. Ken growled as his Armored Lizard was destroyed by its own attack, but his face down monster was still safe. My turn ends. Naruto hit several steps and drew his card. He nodded. I summon Time Fox, 2 500s 400 in attack position and then use Polymerization, magic card to fuse Time Fox and Vulpix into 1000 Vixen, 7 2400s 2000 in attack position. Alright, take out that face down monster. The giant white-furred 9-tailed fox did just that, the card dissolved in a sparkle of light. I put another face down in the backfield and end my turn. Naruto said. Ken. 0 cards. Naruto. 1000 Vixen ATK 2400, 2 face down. Ken's LP. 8000. Naruto's LP. 8000. Ken focused on the next several dance steps before drawing a card. I summon Celtic Guardian, 4 1400s 1200 in defense mode and end my turn. Naruto saw that he had a series of difficult dance steps and ended up using a breakdance in order to do the combination needed. As he spun to his feet he drew a card. Naruto looked at the 2 cards he held. I use Pot of Greed, magic, and take 2 cards. He looked at the 3 cards and mentally smiled even as his feet worked to keep with the dance pad. He put the card down. I summon Fox Raider, 4 1900s 1200 in attack position. The Beast Warrior appeared, the black and gold furred fox was carrying a wicked looking axe. Naruto's feet hit 3 out of 4 of the arrows and he groaned, but so far he was keeping up with Ken on the dance game. Fox Raider, attack Celtic Guardian. The Celtic Guardian was destroyed and Naruto looked at 1000 Vixen. 1000 Vixen, direct attack. Ken groaned as the shock hit him, he was shocked as his life points were hit for 2400. I end my turn. Naruto said. He noticed that during the direct attack Ken had missed a lot of dance moves and his score was dropping. Ken. 0 cards. Naruto. 1000 Vixen ATK 2400, Fox Raider ATK 1900, 2 face down. Ken's LP. 5600. Naruto's LP. 8000. Ken was working hard on his dance pad now and Naruto could see the bigger man was sweating hard by the time he drew a card. The scowl told Naruto plenty as Ken put a monster card face down and ended his turn. Naruto had a series of steps and on the last one he drew a card and put it on the field. It was a second Fox Raider, 4 1900s 1200. Let's do this. He said sending his first Fox Raider that wiped out whatever monster Ken was using as a defender. 1000 Vixen and Fox Raider, direct attack. Ken went to his knees as the shock hit him from the heavy loss of life points. Naruto ended his turn with a spin on the dance pad. Ken. 0 cards. Naruto. 1000 Vixen ATK 2400, 2 Fox Raiders ATK 1900, 2 face down. Ken's LP. 1300. Naruto's LP. 8000. Ken looked irate as he got to his feet and tried to get his rhythm back as he drew a card. The big man smiled. I offer up these 3 cards and use the card Blackluster Ritual, Magic Ritual, to bring Blackluster Soldier, A3000's 2500, in attack mode. Soldier take out 1000 Vixen go. Naruto blinked and then tapped one of his face down cards. Not so fast Ken. I use Fox Shroud, Trap Counter, which is a negate attack. Ken growled as his attack failed and he ended his turn, content that he would have him next turn. Naruto drew a card. I use the card Forbidden Summoning, Magic Ritual, and sacrifice my 2 Fox Raiders and summon Kyuubi no Kitsune, A3100's 200, in attack mode. Ken blinked as if finally putting it together. You're that Fox guy. Naruto chuckled. I am Kyuubi's effect is activated and for the next 3 turns your monsters are unable to attack. This ends now. Kyuubi, take out Blackluster Soldier. The Kyuubi roared and a tail swipe hit and Ken winced as he took the 100-point difference in the attack powers and watched his greatest monster get wiped out. 1000 Vixen, direct attack go. Ken dropped to his knees as Vixen's attack wiped out his life points. Ken. 0 cards. Naruto. 1000 Vixen ATK 2400, Kyuubi no Kitsune ATK 3100, 2 face down. Ken's LP. 0. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto finished the dance with a flourish and Ken, unable to move due to the shocks, watched his score like his life points go to 0 and game over flashed on the screen, declaring Naruto the winner. The whisker-marked blonde sighed as he relaxed. So his surprise was something to see when T rushed up and hugged him. That was awesome. Naruto blinked when she backed up and recounted not only the dance, but the duel with each move. He smiled at how she put her whole body into it. Mr. Fox. He stopped talking as Naruto looked at Suki who was helping Ken to his feet. Good match. Naruto offered his hand to the big man. You had me beat from the word go, didn't you? Ken said, regaining his feet. If I would have known who you were. You would have taken me more seriously. Naruto said. It's one of the reasons I avoid cameras so far. I like the element of surprise. Ken nodded. Well, a deal's a deal. The machine is yours. Naruto looked at T. You rest. I'll play with Suki if she don't mind. Really? The green-haired girl asked. T nodded and handed Naruto a bottle of water. I'll be back. She said and Naruto watched her go, taking a seat at the juice bar. Ken joined him. You got one heck of a girlfriend there. She's not my girlfriend. Really? Ken said, ordering a drink. The way she watches you, I'm surprised. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Suki told me she was watching every move you made. Naruto blinked and turned to watch T. She does have a certain glow when she's enthusiastic. He thought. Good mate, strong mate. Kyuubi suggested. How do you know Fuzzy? Naruto thought. She smells. Naruto was about to ask what the hell that meant when T and Suki rejoined them. T took his drink and guzzled it, her hair and skin sporting sweat from the workout she just had. You're very good at this, Suki. She said, sitting next to Naruto. Thank you. Ken brings me here several times a week. The green-haired girl said, regaining her place on Ken's shoulder. Suki then looked at Naruto. You better be nice to your girlfriend or else I'll be upset with you. Naruto sputtered and T laughed as Ken stood and wished them a good day. You know, T said. Suki gave me several ideas. Oh. T led him away from the games and had a smirk on her face. I'll tell you over dinner. She laughed as Naruto stumbled. Steamship. Rin looked at the cards as she organized them. She had to admit it was an interesting game and a safer way to wage battles. Will I miss my time as a ninja? No. She thought as she held the mystical elf girl and she was putting together a deck she thought would work. Shame the crew isn't allowed to play. Rin thought. She'd been playing a mock duel, playing both sides and seeing the differences when putting different cards against one another. I hope Naruto's okay. Kami, I was a fool to believe the Hokage would be able to handle the village. She had taken the deep cover mission with the understanding that Naruto would be safe. Now he's beyond the veil and has no one to care for him. Who am I kidding? He grew up alone the whole time. I hope Sensei and Kushina can forgive me when I die. She shuffled more cards and looked at the necklace stone. The dot on it was getting bigger, meaning she was heading the right way. Kami, this journey is a long one. 15 days each way. She shuffled her deck and set it aside. Thus far she'd managed to make 2 decks she liked. The rest she would put in a storage scroll. She'd read the files on Naruto while she waited at Kahaku's and she was sad at how little the academy had taught him. The file from Iruka indicated that Naruto could read and write but seemed to avoid all his tests. Not like they would have given him a fair shot. Iruka admitted that despite his trying, he also would ridicule Naruto before the other students. Ren sighed. I have a lot of explaining to do. I just hope and pray Naruto gives me a chance. Ren's hands were shuffling cards while her mind was across the ocean and resting on a blonde boy with whisker marks. Chapter 6. Outside diner. Thank you. Tea sat and kissed Naruto's cheek, getting him to blush. I've had a lot of fun today. And you didn't have to buy diner, I was joking. Naruto waved her off. It was my pleasure. Naruto said. In his mind Kyuubi was purring every time Tea touched him. I had a lot of fun and I'm glad I bumped into you. He smirked as they started to walk. The streetlights were on and even as night had fallen, duels were still going strong. Both had stored their duel discs in a backpack and Naruto carried them over his shoulder as they walked. I don't know why, but there's something about you. Tea said. I've never felt this comfortable around someone before. Naruto shrugged as he was surprised himself how comfortable he was around the brown-haired girl. Seems I monopolized your whole day. Naruto said. I'm not complaining. Tea said and she found her hand slipping into Naruto's. Want to walk some more? She asked. Sure. They stopped by the fountain and Tea looked up at the clock, surprised that it was nearly 10. Wow. Naruto looked and blinked. I didn't think we'd been out this long. I'm going to get in trouble. Tea muttered and Naruto looked at her. My curfew is 10. I'm sorry. Tea waved him off as they walked and he found a scooter. I'll be home in about 15 minutes. She said then stopped. Naruto, I'd like to see you again. Tea said and a slight blush tinged her cheeks. Cha, what's wrong with me? She thought. I'd like that. I'm usually around here. He gestured. At her look he shrugged. She smiled and kissed his cheek. I really did have a great day. I'll see you later. I better go before I get grounded. She sat on the scooter and put on a helmet. Naruto took his dual disc out of the bag and handed it to her for her own disc. They made plans to meet for a late lunch as Tea had to work in the morning. They exchanged phone numbers. Naruto waved as he watched her go. He was starting to turn when he was struck from behind. He saw several feet and heard a voice. Look at what we got here, boys. Laughter was the last thing he heard before another blow knocked him unconscious. He didn't feel his vest being shredded as hands looked for his cards and the sound of his dual disc being shattered on the concrete. Naruto came to seeing the suit-wearing guards he recognized as Pegasus's men and the thugs from his first day, unconscious on the ground several feet away, handcuffed and bleeding. Scattered on the ground before him were small fires and Naruto blinked several times before he realized that they were his cards. The bastards had destroyed his dual disc and ripped his vest apart to get his cards and set them on fire. Naruto struggled to his knees as his head was throbbing. Sir, we're sorry. One of the guards said while another guard was on a phone. Naruto blinked and the guard spoke again. We lost track of you and by the time we found you they had already set fire to your deck. Naruto blinked at the man and looked at the fires. His cards, his whole deck was gone. The limo came rushing up the road and screeched to a halt. The back door opened and Pegasus rushed out. He ignored the guards trying to keep up with him. Is he okay? He hasn't responded, sir. I think he might have a concussion. The guard nearest Naruto said. I was just about to call for an ambulance. I'm fine. Naruto said, his voice hollow. I heal quickly. His eyes were on the cards. He recognized one as the Kyuubi card. He reached out to smother the card, but Pegasus was there and grabbed his hand. Don't. He looked at the guards. Clean this up. Drop that trash off at the police station, file a report. Yes, sir. The guard said. Pegasus looked at Naruto whose gaze was still on his destroyed cards. Naruto. Pegasus went to a knee and called his name again. I will replace them, make them better. Look at me. Naruto blinked and looked at Pegasus. Pegasus, and when did you get here? Come on, we need to get you checked out and then you'll stay at the penthouse. I want to go back to my apartment. Naruto said, his voice was hollow. He didn't understand why he was so affected by the destruction of his cards. It's because in a short amount of time they became an extension of you. Kyuubi's mental voice said in a soothing voice. It'll be alright, kid. I'm still here. Pegasus will fix this. How could I be so stupid? I let my guard down. Kyuubi remained quiet. Naruto allowed Pegasus to pull him to his feet and load him into the limo. Next day. Burger Hut. He was smiling and her co-workers were amazed at the good mood the already usually perky girl was in. He was about to head to the back when she heard something on the radio that stopped her cold. The fox duelist, Naruto Uzumaki, was attacked last night and his entire deck had been destroyed. Police have the ones responsible in custody. This reporter has found out that the fox suffered a minor concussion and already checked out of the hospital. It's sad that this kind of thing is still happening. It was bad enough last summer with the rare card hunters and ghouls, but to have such a promising duelist taken out in a street mugging, I tell you the police need to increase patrols. Dee blinked and dropped the tray she was going to load up to deliver to tables, not listening to anything else the radio said. She didn't hear the cook as she grabbed her jacket and keys before rushing out the back door to her scooter. A cold pit of fear formed in her stomach as she grabbed her helmet and jammed it on her head before starting the bike. Please let him be okay. Please. Block Plaza. Dee parked her scooter and frowned at her impulsively running off. Gah, I don't have his address. What was I thinking? Dee wandered around the area asking several of the shop owners if they knew where Naruto lived. Many of them gave her looks like she was crazy. She was getting frustrated after 20 minutes and saw the cyber cafe. She hurried over and paid for the terminal. Pulling out her phone she pulled up the search engine on the computer and entered Naruto's name and phone number. I could call, but if he's hurt she shook her head and started her search. It took her several tries, and she finally found his address when she used her old password from her time at working at the paper. He gets Duel weekly. Thank Kami. She thought as she scribbled the address down and then pulled up a map and saw it was a couple blocks away. She printed the map and hurried back out to her scooter and zipped away. Apartment. Dee hopped off her scooter and nearly threw the helmet as she rushed up the walk and opened the door. Can I help you? Dee nearly jumped out of her skin. I'm looking for Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. She said. Baba looked at the girl and saw the fear and concern. Top floor. Room 401. She said and T was already rushing up the stairs. Baba smiled. Glad he's got friends. She muttered as she looked out the window and scowled as the limo pulled up. More than that rogue. Naruto groaned as the door of his apartment was pounded on. He really didn't want to get up. The last thing he wanted to do was talk to anyone right now. Pegasus talked with him at the hospital and swore Naruto would have the new deck today, and he had new cards for Naruto and an improved Kyuubi card as well as many other surprises. Doesn't matter. I liked my deck. Naruto thought as he'd spent many hours looking over the cards and memorizing them. New cards aren't exactly better. He thought. He sighed as the pounding became more insistent. Getting up he shuffled across the floor wearing baggy tiger-striped lounge pants, not bothering with a shirt. He flipped the lock and opened the door. No inter-tea. Was as far as he got when the brunette grabbed him in a hug. Oh thank the gods you're alright. She said as she hugged him tight, her face against his shoulder. Okay, not an overzealous reporter at least. He thought as he melted into the hug, feeling better as her scent filtered in his nose. It took a minute before she realized he wasn't wearing a shirt. Her blush could have lit up a city block, Naruto was certain. He watched her step back and then he saw her eyes staring at his torso. Hey T-chan. Want to come in? He asked and stepped back. T blinked and entered. Naruto closed the door behind her and grabbed his shirt off the back of the chair. She took a moment to see his back littered with various pale white scars, along with his wiry muscles. The radio said you'd been attacked. T said blinking once the white t-shirt was on. I was. He said. I'm fine, just a bump really. Bastards destroyed my disc and cards. He gestured to the remains of his vest. They really did a number on me, lucky they didn't get to do more. They destroyed your deck. But you're not fine. T said. She understood how close duelists got to their cards, they formed a bond with them. Yugi's heart of the cards isn't just talk. She thought. What are you going to do? I know that the Kyuubi card was one of a kind. Naruto was about to respond when there was another knock on his door. Geez, Baba said she'd not let anyone in. He muttered as he looked at T. One moment. He called out. Have a seat. He said to T, gesturing to a chair or couch. She nodded and waited, staying behind Naruto to see who else would disturb him. When the door opened she gasped at who was on the other side. Moments ago. Pegasus sighed as the old woman scolded him. I assure you madam I have nothing but the best intentions in regards to Naruto. Pegasus sighed as the woman held a taser up and scowled. You bring him back last night, he looks like a zombie. I won't have you or any of those damned reporters sniffing around. I've already had my people send out a statement. As for Naruto, I've brought him a new deck and dual disc. He said and his guard held up the briefcase. Now if you let me past. You can, the muscle stays out here. No pets allowed. Baba said as her cat meowed. It's okay Pharaoh, the rogue won't be interrupting your telly time. The orange and black furred cat sauntered back into the apartment and Pegasus rolled his eye. Madam? Go you rake. Pegasus took the case and started up the stairs. He reached Naruto's apartment and looked around with a hint of disgust. I should move him into a proper place. But Naruto boy seems to like this place. He sighed and heard voices from inside and wondered if Naruto was watching television before he knocked. A moment later the door opened and he smiled, then blinked when his eye met a familiar face just behind Naruto. Pegasus. T said in shock. Is Gardner? Pegasus said, gathering himself. He hadn't seen her since Duelist Kingdom, but he was surprised to see her with Naruto. Wasn't she with Yugi? He thought and blinked as Naruto spoke. Pegasus-san, you're early. Nonsense. I had most of these cards ready days ago. I just spent the morning registering them. He smiled as he entered the apartment. He'd looked around last night after putting Naruto to bed. He put the briefcase on the kitchen table. What are you doing here? T asked. Why, I'm delivering Naruto-kun's new deck and duel disc, Ms. Gardner. I always pay my debts and Naruto saved my life. It's the least I can do is make sure that he's prepared for duels ahead. He entered the combination and opened the briefcase. I mean, why don't you have one of your employees do it? She said, alternating employee for thug. She was rather proud of herself at keeping civil. Pegasus-eyed, many things have changed, Ms. Gardner, since you last saw me at Duelist Kingdom. He stepped aside. Naruto was looking between the pair of them. I left the sheets in the case to help you learn about the new cards. You have my number if you have any questions. Pegasus would have preferred to stay and work with Naruto over his new deck, but he already could tell he'd be a third wheel. Ms. Gardner looks like she has no intention of leaving him alone. This wasn't something I expected. Pegasus thought. I'll be in touch. And this time be careful. Pegasus said. He was nearly to the door when Naruto spoke. Thank you again. Think nothing of it. I am sorry my employees weren't quicker. Naruto waved it off and watched as the strange man who had been inserted into his life left, the door closing with a soft click. He looked at T. You never said you knew Pegasus. She said. Naruto sighed and sat down. I met him literally right after I got off the boat. He sat down and listened as Naruto explained how he saved the man from the same thugs who attacked him last night. He once more grabbed him in a hug and the pair sat on the couch for some time, T hugging him and Naruto running a hand up and down her back. Naruto blinked and looked at the clock. T-chan, not that I mind you coming and all, but how did you find me? And didn't you have to work? T groaned. I'm fired. She explained how she heard the radio report and how she'd left work, her search and finally using the computer to find him. Both of them blushed hearing their stomachs growl. They shared a laugh. Come on, I'll buy lunch. T tried to protest and Naruto went to get dressed properly. T removed her apron and nametag before looking at the briefcase. Behave. He'll show you if he wants you to know. T scolded her curiosity. She turned away to avoid temptation. Naruto joined her wearing black cargo pants and a rust orange t-shirt. She saw him grab a hooded sweat jacket. Ready? He asked, grabbing his wallet and keys. You want your cards? She asked. Naruto shook his head. Not until I've had time to look them all over. I'm temporarily off the game. He opened the door and gave her a gentlemanly bow. Ladies first. Thank you, kind sir. T said. She was still worried about him, but right now he was acting as if he was fine. He doesn't act like he's got a concussion. She thought. T was still bothered about Pegasus being interested in Naruto. She remembered his interest in her friend Yugi and she thought nothing good came of that. Burger Hut. T shook her head as she watched Naruto finish 2 burgers and start a third. She'd talked with her boss and he didn't fire her. He'd seen the look on her face and had marked her down as having a half a day. Naruto sat back and sighed. Sorry, guess I was hungrier than I thought. He said. T shook her head. You know how many women would kill to have your metabolism? Worldwide or just in Battle City? Naruto asked with a teasing grin. They'd arrived and some people recognized Naruto as the Fox Duelist and he signed a couple of magazine ads that spoke his duels. He smiled. Heck, in this building alone. I've always been a big eater. You want to see something, find a ramen hut and I'll show you how much I can put away. He tapped her chin. There's one near the high school in Domino. She cocked her head and looked at Naruto. And since you're not going to be dueling for a couple of days, how about I show you where I go to school? Naruto nibbled on a fry. Wouldn't I be a distraction? Classes don't start for another week. There's the festival and several duel tournaments going on. Naruto thought about it, then smiled. Then with such a lovely escort, how can I refuse? His grin would light up Vegas. Several of the girls watching were jealous at how much attention the blonde duelist was giving the brunette and many of them vowed to get her to spill how she met him. Crawford Penthouse. It seems Naruto-kun is taken with Ms. Gardner from just meeting her. He watched the footage his employee had gotten. The looks and the arm touches. You want we should separate them, boss? Pegasus looked at the man. Heavens no. I believe Ms. Gardner to be a suitable partner for our young fox. He looked at the painting of his lost love and he saw the look in Ms. Gardner's eyes when she looked at Naruto. You will be happy, Naruto, my boy. For some reason, even without the Millennium Eye, I see great things around you. It was the reason I was near the docks that night. I still get visions when I sleep. Pegasus thought sadly. And your new deck is 100 times better than your first one. Pegasus had not been pleased that the thugs had been so rough with Naruto. Good help is so hard to find these days. He thought as he watched the bank of monitors that showed Naruto's duels, while the main one showed the footage of his day with Tea. Chapter 7. Naruto's apartment. Naruto sighed as he couldn't believe he got talked into going to a school of all places. I've got to be the lamest or easiest person. Of course when Tea-chan looked at me with those big brown eyes it's hard to say no to her. He thought as he got dressed for the day. His eyes drifted towards the deck, he'd put off looking at it as he still was confused why the loss of his previous deck hurt. I need to find a place to train. He thought. Since arriving he hadn't done any physical training and he was mad at himself for getting taken out so easily. Of course I was foolish to let my guard down. He thought. Walking to the table he pulled out the case and opened it, he gently turned it upside down and pulled the cards out. He had the backs facing up at him and his fingers twitched. Come on kiddo, stop being such a bitch and look at them. They feel strong. Kyuubi added an opinion and Naruto sighed sitting down, he began to flip the cards over and looked at them. He blinked and his eye widened at the new Kyuubi card. Kyuubi no Yakai. He read the title and looked at the picture. It was a picture of the Kyuubi looking if possible even more fierce, and the eyes seemed to look menacing as he tilted the card he swore the 9 tails seemed to move. Oh I love it. Kyuubi voiced and Naruto saw that it was different than before and read the card. Still have the sword effect. When summoned destroys level 3 and less monsters, but if doing so can't attack that round. Naruto read the small print. He looked at the Kyuubi's level and blinked at the stats. Holy shit. Level 10 with an attack of 3500 and defense of 2800. Good. Pegasus fixed that. What else? Naruto saw that the payment to keep Kyuubi was fixed. 1 card sacrifice and only 200 life points as a one-time offering. He also smiled at the last. Can't be targeted by spells, effects or traps. And Kami. That was a stupid weakness for a creature such as I. Naruto rolled his eyes at the vain tone in the fox spirit's voice. He flipped the next card and saw the forbidden summoning card and saw that he would still need to sacrifice up to a total of 8 stars. Naruto nodded at this and flipped the next card and blinked. Kyuubi. The fox was silent and Naruto could feel apprehension as he looked at Inari the fox god card. He found Naruto sitting on the steps, his new dual disc was in a special carry case over his shoulder. Hey. She said. Naruto gave her a grin. I see you looked over your deck. Naruto nodded and T saw a flash in his eyes but decided to ask about it later. Ready to go to school? She asked. Naruto took a moment to look at her and saw she was wearing a school uniform of dress skirt, white shirt and jacket. I thought you said school didn't start for the high school yet. He laughed. Sorry. She said giving a turn. I have a habit that if I go to school I dress for it. Naruto laughed as she led him towards a bus stop. No scooter? He asked. It's in the shop. She said. So I figured public transport. She held up a couple of bus tokens. My treat. T-chan. No arguing. She said and Naruto nodded. So, you don't carry your cards around all the time? He asked while they waited for the bus. T shook her head. I know I should, but I just can't seem to win. I might fight to a draw or hold off an opponent for a while, but she shrugged. Would you like me to help you put together a new deck? He asked and then he blushed a bit and looked away. Never mind. No, that would be great. My friend Yugi helped me a little, but he's been so busy with his duties as the king of games and he's been helping his grandfather a lot more, we haven't had a lot of time to get together. Yugi? Naruto repeating the name then he looked at T. Wait, king of games, you mean Yugi Muto? T nodded. Naruto looked surprised. Wow. She laughed. He's still not comfortable with all the publicity. He's kind of shy, but he's a good and loyal friend. T said. You and him date? Naruto asked and he didn't hear the note in his voice. T was temporarily saved from answering as the bus arrived and they climbed aboard and took seats near the back. I would have liked to. She admitted. But at the time we were both missing it and by the time it could have happened, I'd gone on my trip and he took up his responsibilities as the king of games. Naruto didn't know why that made him happy, but he spoke, kind of glad he didn't. T's eyes widened and she looked into the blue eyes of Naruto and for some reason she was glad as well. Amino hi. My classroom is on the 2nd floor. T said after they got Naruto a visitor's badge in the office. Naruto looked at the big white building. 3 floors, plus the annex building and the sports annex. He thought as he had looked at the map. They climbed the stairs and Naruto followed several steps behind T. His eyes landed on her backside and several thoughts passed through his mind and Kyuubi's chuckle filled his head along with several suggestions that had Naruto nearly get blown off his feet by the nosebleed he barely managed to stop. T waited on the landing and noticed his distracted gaze. For some reason she felt warm and shook her head. I'm in class 2B, she said as they walked the hallway side by side. T nearly reached out and linked arms with Naruto, but stopped as she paused. As you can see, the student council room is across from here. You on that? Naruto asked. T shook her head. Nope. Didn't want the headache. She said with a laugh before opening the classroom door. Naruto was surprised at seeing desks instead of the seating like at the Ninja Academy. T walked towards the window and went back to nearly the last seat in the row. This is my assigned desk. She said. Naruto came up as she sat down and he crouched next to her. So T-chan, good student. Poor student nah, I bet you're near the top of the class. He said, and she knew he meant it as a compliment and not as an insult of any kind. So, do you stay in this room all day for classes or move about? He asked curiously. The students keep to one classroom while the teaching staff switch out each period. They left the classroom and the tour continued. Naruto found watching T and her reactions the best part of the whole tour. That and her skirt-covered hips kept drawing his attention every time he walked behind her or she went ahead to do something. So they don't allow dueling in the school? Naruto asked. Not really. Many duelists bring their cards to work on their decks, but duel discs are forbidden. T said. Not to say that there haven't been duels, but of course if caught there are detentions. Naruto nodded in understanding as they were walking on the track. So, school? T asked. Naruto shrugged. Still not sure. Books and that aren't my thing really. He said, and T stopped and spun about in front of him. Her hands clasped behind her back. Naruto found her inches from his face, feeling her breath touch his skin. Make it worth your while. She said in a low voice. And what could convince me to come to the school and be miserable? He asked in an equally low voice. He looked down a bit and Naruto realized she was looking at his mouth. Well, it would give you a chance to spend more time with me. She said low voice, nearly a purr, and Naruto remembered the words of the old man when Am was scolding him and he ended up agreeing with her. Women are the most dangerous creatures on the planet. Spending time with you? Naruto said in a low voice, his eyes watching her. You're being dense on purpose. She said. Naruto grinned. Not really. He said. He leaned in and gave him a chaste kiss on the lips. Well, I was hoping you'd like to fill in the role of boyfriend. She said after stepping back. She smiled at seeing Naruto's unfocused gaze. The boyfriend? He said, tripping over the word. You know, kissing, holding hands, dates, did I mention kissing? T said with an impish grin. Are you usually this forward? Naruto said with a chuckle. T shook her head. No, usually I'm a coward. But there's something about you. She didn't finish as Naruto leaned in and kissed her, this time dragging the kiss out, and T's hands went to rest on his chest as she closed her eyes. After a couple minutes Naruto pulled back and grinned. Still not sure about the school, but is that a condition to being boyfriend? He didn't answer as she leaned in and kissed him again, and Naruto found his own eyes closing and his hands resting on her skirt-clad hips. In Naruto's mind, Kyuubi was laughing and quite pleased. I knew pumping pheromones at them both would work. The fox said, mentally giving itself a high five. D was perfect for the Kyuubi's container. He could see her aura and it was so pure. Naruto needed someone like that. So since they met, Kyuubi had been drowning the pair with pheromones. Naruto's pores were pumping out the chemical, and when he touched T, Kyuubi had pushed them into her cells and they attracted Naruto to her. It had exhausted the fox, but it didn't care. It was going to make up for its rampage the only way it could. Helping Naruto become happy. The make-out session was cut short as they heard people coming and T grabbed Naruto's hand and the pair slipped from the school grounds out the side gate. They walked back to the front gate in silence, but there were looks exchanged. T returned his visitor badge and they walked to a bus stop. T leaned against his arm that found itself around her waist. No. She said after a bit. At his look she explained. You attending isn't conditional to being a boyfriend. Naruto smiled and kissed her lips again. The pair lost in one another amidst buses and ended up walking back the couple of miles. They didn't mind as they talked and would stop to kiss several times. T left his apartment with a promise to see him tomorrow after work. They kissed some more. T had to leave as it was getting late and she still had to pick her scooter up. After the door closed, Naruto sank into a chair. T's image burned into his brain. Naruto, after getting his mind smacked around by Kyuubi, spent the rest of the night memorizing his new cards. Some were familiar, like the Winged Vixen sisters and Winged Vixen's brother. There were some newer cards that Naruto was looking forward to playing. He looked at the papers Pegasus had left in a pouch and he read the note to put certain ones in his side deck for now. Pegasus wanted to teach Naruto how to use them properly. Naruto saw that Inari the fox god was on the list and he wondered about the others as he pulled them. Naruto noticed some cards were missing and others were looking totally revamped. It was well after midnight when Kyuubi told him to sleep. They'd go looking for a duel tomorrow. Naruto put the cards in the case and slipped it under his pillow, his mind already planning several strategies, and Kyuubi smiled as its container was in a good mood. Hito has a mate and a new deck. Yes, things are looking up. The fox thought as it too went to sleep. Neither noticing the slight glow around the deck. Dressed in a pair of dark blue cargo pants and an orange mesh shirt, Naruto pulled out a new vest with a fox head on the back. Naruto put the cards in a thigh holster he'd bought. It was a solid container and had a combo lock. It cost him over 300 DP as it was fire resistant and the lock was a bonus. He grabbed his keys and was just reaching for his cell phone when it rang. "Hello?" he said. "Hey, Naruto-kun." T's voice came over. "T-chan." He said, a grin spreading across his face. "I thought you had to work." "I do. I just wanted to let you know I was going to come over after work. How about we meet near the clock? I'm going to go out dueling to break in my new deck." He heard her laugh and it tugged at him. "Okay. I'll see you about 2. Good luck." T said, and then before she hung up Naruto heard words he'd never heard before as long as he could remember. "Love you." The disconnect prevented him from answering, but those 2 words warmed him and he ended the call and slipped the phone into a pocket. "She loves me." Kyuubi decided to speak. "Your mate loves you, as it should be. Don't you love her?" Naruto blinked. "I think so, but I don't know what it is. I've never known it before. I mean, yeah, I had a crush on Sakura, but that's not love." Kyuubi sighed. "Kiddo, you and T have a bond, you both connected faster than anyone. If she said those words, you have nothing to fear. Hell, you could tell her about me and I bet it wouldn't matter. Look into her eyes next time, really look. I'm in here and I know you love her. You dreamed about her all damn night. Let me tell you what you mortals consider sex." "Kyuubi." Naruto's mental shout had the kitsune laughing itself sick behind the seal. "Streets." Naruto nodded to several vendors who recognized him. Many smiled seeing him already back on the streets with a new duel disc. He came across one duelist. "You want to duel?" Naruto asked. The older teen looked him over. "You are the fox. Correct?" Naruto nodded and he'd come to accept being associated with the fox here, where if this is Konoha, he would have been looking for a hole to hide in. "Naruto Uzumaki," he said. "Nick Grissom," the older teen said and they shook hands. A quick round of rock paper scissors had Naruto going first. Both shuffled their decks and turned on their duel discs, the LP meter reading 8,000. "Time to duel," Naruto said softly as he took his 5 cards and then in the draw phase took his 6th card. He relaxed at the familiar cards. "I set this monster card face down in defense mode and another card in the backfield ending my turn." Nick nodded as he drew his card. "I summon Petite Moth, 1/300-200 in attack mode. Hit that face down monster." Naruto watches as Mystical Fox Girl, 4/800-2000 and Nick winces as he takes 1700 points of damage to his life points due to the difference. "I end my turn," he says. Nick. Petite Moth ATK 300. Naruto. Mystical Fox Girl Def 2000, 2 face down. Nick's LP. 6300. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto draws a card and adjusts his cards in his hand. "I place the Konjaku Monogatari, equip magic, with Mystical Fox Girl, for 1100s 2300. Nick watches as her ATK and def increase by 300 points. "I also summon Elemental Ice Fox Shiva, for 1600s 1500 in attack mode. A new card shimmers to life and a beautiful fox woman appears, she's covered in ice blue fur and ice covers certain parts for modesty. Shiva has 3 tails. "Shiva, hit that moth with your diamond dust," Naruto orders. And she leaps into the air and kisses her palm, then blows a dust at the moth. It explodes and Nick groans as his life points takes more damage. "I end my turn," Naruto said. Nick looks at the new monster then at Naruto. "You've got new cards." Naruto just gives him a grin and watches as Nick pulls a card and slaps it down on the field. "I summon Soldier Ant, 3 500s 1200 in defense mode and end my turn." Naruto drew his card. "I take it you're using an insect deck?" Nick nodded. "Yeah. You're my 4th duel, I'm still getting used to it, but I love insects." Naruto nodded. "I summon Elemental Fire Fox Ifrit, 3 1300s 1000 in attack mode." The red-furred fox explodes out of the ground with a massive roar and like Shiva sports 3 tails. Nick gulps seeing the black claws and the long red mane. Each of Ifrit's tails is tipped by flickering flames. "Sorry about this." Ifrit destroy that soldier ant with burst fire. Nick watches as Ifrit sucks in air and soon a ball of flame appears and then the fire fox spits it at his monster destroying it. "Shiva, direct attack. Diamond dust." He orders and Nick gets hit hard and goes to one knee as he is shocked by the dual disc. "I end my turn," Naruto says giving Nick time to recover. Nick. 0 cards. Naruto. Mystical Fox Girl Def 2300 Konjaku Monogatari, Equip, Elemental Ice Fox Shiva ATK 1600, Elemental Fire Fox Ifrit ATK 1300, 2 face down. Nick's LP. 3400. Naruto's LP. 8000. Nick gets up, his eyes go to his life point gauge. Man, you've got some kickin' monsters. Naruto nods. He's surprised at the cards he's got in his hand. He's wondering what more he can do. Hell with 2 elemental foxes on the field if I get another one. He watched as Nick placed another soldier ant in defense mode and ended his turn. Naruto drew a card and smiled. I summon elemental wind fox K's 3 1000 to the field in attack mode. The new elemental fox has light gray fur and wings made of lightning bolts. Its tails whip around behind it. And I activate the spell card Polymerization, Magic, to fuse Elemental Wind Fox K's and Elemental Fire Fox Ifrit to bring forth Elemental Winged Ifrit 6 2100s 1200 in attack mode. The merged Ifrit K's roared. It was basically Ifrit with K's wings and a blend of the pair's coloring. Nick's oh shit carried over the monster's roar. Shiva, remove that soldier ant. Naruto ordered and the monster was destroyed by the Elemental Ice Fox. Now then, Elemental Winged Ifrit hit him with a direct attack Feather Break Fire. Nick dropped to his knees as his life points took 2100 points of damage. I end my turn. Do you need a couple of minutes? Naruto asked as Nick had trouble getting to his feet. No. I can do this. Naruto nodded. This is a good practice session if I face Underwood. He thought of the regional champion who had been seen in the area. Nick. 0 cards. Naruto. Mystical Fox Girl Def 2300 Konjaku Monogatari, Equip, Elemental Ice Fox Shiva ATK 1600, Elemental Winged Ifrit ATK 2100, 1 face down. Nick's LP. 1300. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto could hear Nick muttering this was his last chance. He saw the older boy's face fall and knew that he didn't draw a good card. I surrender. Nick called out. I've got nothing to put on the field. Naruto nodded. Can I ask what the face down is? Nick asked. Naruto tapped it and it flipped. The image was a new card. Terrorizing, Magic. I'm glad you didn't activate it. Nick said looking at it. May I ask why? Naruto shrugged as he shut off his dual disc and put the cards away, rolling the combination tumbler once the cards were secure. I don't like obliterating people. I like to see what they can do. Nick shook his head. Several new monsters, I know I need more time with my deck. Balance it out more. It looks like you might have too many smaller monsters. Nick nodded. I've been trying to get a couple of bigger insect monsters, but I can't afford them yet. Naruto shook hands with Nick. Well, good luck. He started walking away. Hey wait, we never had a wager. Naruto stopped and shrugged. I should at least give you half my DP. Nah. We didn't wager before we started. You don't owe me anything. Naruto said as he walked away. Man, he's something. Nick said as he went to see if he could rework his deck some more. Naruto had 3 more duels before it was time to meet T. The last one he only needed Elemental Ice Fox Shiva as the opponent kept putting low-level monsters on the field, not one seemed to have a connection at all. The kid talked a lot of smack and with some of his insults, Naruto was more than happy to take his 500 wagered DP. The other duels Naruto wagered about 100 and they were mostly new duelists that were still learning and using the basic decks given to them. He felt bad betting that much, but they insisted on wagering that much. During the duels he saw use the winged vixens and he was happy to see Vulpix and Time Fox were in his deck. He unleashed another pair of new cards. Fox Virus which turned all the cards in an opponent's graveyard into foxes and Kalta Kitsune Reaper for 1900s 1500 which had the effect to summon foxes from the graveyard as fox tokens 1 200 200. Naruto then used the fox tokens as sacrifices to summon other monsters. He was sitting at a cafe table counting his winnings and separating them, with most going into his main pouch, while 300 were broken down into 3 separate sacks. A pair of slender hands covered his eyes and a voice whispered lightly into his ear. Besu. Bugs Bunny. He teased. Dee came around and sat in his lap. Do I look like a rabbit to you? She asked with an arched brow. Her clothes consisted of a light green and yellow polo sleeveless button shirt, pink and blue bracelets, navy blue shorts with a light blue belt, white stockings and blue platform sandals. Naruto smiled and shook his head as he leaned in for a kiss, his arms going around her waist. Missed you. He said as he got his kiss. Dee smiled as she looked at him then at his winnings. You had a busy day. He shrugged as she adjusted her place on his lap. Didn't even get to really try out a lot of cards. A lot of new players are out and about. He smiled as she pulled a flyer from her pocket. Well then, it's a good thing someone put these flyers up at work. Seems there's a single elimination tournament tonight. Now what kind of girlfriend am I? The bestest, especially if you escort me tonight to this tournament. Naruto gave her a puppy dog pout when she pretended to consider it. She kissed him. Yes, I'll go with you. Naruto wasn't concerned with the prize money, he was more or less looking for a challenge. And I'll take you for dinner. Naruto said after another kiss. He ran her fingers through his hair. She looked at him and stopped caring why she was so interested in him, being with Naruto these last few days had been the best in her life so far. I just need to introduce him to Yugi, Joey and Tristan soon. She thought and prayed silently that the three boys who were her friends wouldn't get in the big brother act they used whenever some guy at school had looked at her. Yugi might be a shy kid, but after he talked to Josh the artist ran the other way whenever I come down the hall. She thought as she remembered how she'd been hoping the artist would have asked her to the fall dance. I doubt they'll scare Naruto. There's just something about him. She thought and realized he was purring and she looked at her hand which she had been using to unconsciously stroke his whisker marks. He got a smile as she continued to stroke his whisker marks and with an impish look she leaned in on his other cheek and licked. The shudder that ran through Naruto had T chuckle and even that gave her ideas she was surprised she was actually willing to go through with so soon in a relationship. Oh, the possibilities. Her mind thought. Her eyes flashed a reddish brown as she looked into the blue eyes of Naruto, nothing else at this point mattered to either of them. Chapter 8. Jack's Outdoor Juice Bar. Naruto smirked as he entered the building holding T's hand. They got many looks from people and Naruto heard many muttering about how a guy like him was with such a hot-looking girl. So, you think you can win? T asked after Naruto had registered. There was a dual platform in the lot and a large screen off to the side near the bar. I believe so. As long as you're cheering me on, I know I can do anything. Naruto said bringing her hand up and kissing her knuckles. So, do you think I can win? He asked after several minutes. T laughed and nodded. She had her own duel disc and her old desk Yugi had helped her with but she wasn't here to duel but to cheer Naruto on. Of course I do. T said with a smile. She was about to say something more when a voice called out to her. D. She knew that accent anywhere. Turning she scanned the crowd and saw him wearing a black jacket over a gray shirt. Joey. The blonde waded through the crowd. Hey, we didn't know you were back from New York. He said. How are my old stomping grounds? D blinked. Been back for a bit now, been working at Burger World. You're back there again? T don't you know you're too good for that place? Joey said and T saw he was wearing his dual disc and she got a feeling in her stomach. I've told her that as well, but she doesn't listen. Naruto said and Joey noticed the whisker-marked blonde standing very close to his friend. And who might you be? Naruto Uzumaki, T's boyfriend. Naruto said offering a fingerless gloved hand to shake. Joey looked at the hand then at T. He's joking right? You and Yugi. T sighed. Never were going to happen. She said. I moved on. I'll talk to Yugi when I see him. Joey didn't like this one bit. He thought T and Yugi were made for each other and this strange kid moved in while his bud wasn't around didn't sit well with Joey one bit. T trying to change the subject spoke up, so, you here to watch the tournament? Joey shook his head. I entered. After spending the last couple of months with Serenti and watching her and Tristan moon over one another, I need to get back in the game. T blinked. I thought you and Mai were spending time together. Joey laughed. Mai and I are on again off again relationship. Right now we're off again. Joey said with a shrug. I don't get it but eventually she'll explain it to me. So you're here by yourself? T asked looking around. Yeah. Serenity and Tristan went to a movie. Yugi's busy. He said and T knew the feeling. Their friend had been absent in their lives quite a bit since whining Battle City and becoming the king of games. I don't want to even think about that mess with Merrick. T thought of the shadow games and how close they had all come to dying. You enter? Joey asked seeing her dual disc. T shook her head. Oh no. She said with a laugh. I came to cheer Naruto-kun on. I'll cheer for you as well. She added. Her gaze went to Naruto and she knew Joey's deck and his laziness a-changing. She knew Naruto had gone over his deck, she was in his lap while he did so and saw some of his newer monsters and other cards. She saw another stack and flipped over the card and she shuddered at seeing an Ari the Fox God card. Naruto had told her he couldn't use that and several others until he spoke with Pegasus. Would you like something to drink? Naruto leaned in and asked her as it was getting noisier as someone had a live band. T nodded water. Naruto nodded, then looked at Joey. You want anything? Nah, I'm good. Naruto headed for the bar and once he was far enough away, Joey took hold of T's arm. What in the blazes are you thinking? I thought you and Yugi. T ripped her arm out of his grip and glared at him. I tried Joey, but you can't have a relationship with someone who doesn't try. He didn't even see me before I left for New York, nor did he both to answer or return my calls. But what do you know about this guy? He could be using you to get close to Yugi and… Not everyone is a plot Joey. Naruto has done nothing but try and show me a good time and get to know me. I still think he's after something Joey said crossing his arms. T mentally smirked. I know what he's after. And I might let him get to that sooner than later. T thought as Naruto had agreed to whatever stipulation she wanted in their relationship. Here you go T-chan. Naruto said returning. Hell of a turnout. Wonder how many duelists are in this. Joey heard and shook his head. Standard tournament. The first 16 in will be allowed to duel. He said. Any extras that signed up will be used as filler duels between rounds to let the duelists have time to unwind. You've done this before? Naruto asked. Oh yeah. It's given me a lot of chances to get some practice in and make some money. You? First tournament. Just started at dueling about 2 weeks now. Naruto said. He saw Joey's look and knew he had just dismissed Naruto without seeing him duel. That's it Wheeler. I hope Naruto gets to kick your ass. T thought. Joey was always dismissive of others and quick to judge. She remembered when she beat him 6 times before Yugi rebuilt his deck for him. Joey's gotten worse as he's gotten older. T thought at how her friends had changed since Duelist Kingdom and Battle City. Maybe that's why I fell for Naruto-kun so easily. He's warm and caring and he tries to treat everyone fairly. She saw a couple of his duels and Naruto would give his opponents chances to recover, but then he would end it when the opponent wouldn't even be trying. The music cut off and they saw the MC step onto the duel platform. People. The MC said into the mic. Welcome one and all to Jack's Outdoor Juice Bar and tonight's festivities. We have here tonight a 16-person tournament with the prize being $5,000 or 25,000 DP. Many in the crowd cheered. My lovely assistant Tina is working the computer and in a moment she will have the brackets up on the screen. Just a reminder to the duelists any cards that you haven't registered cannot be used. T looked at Naruto who nodded his cards were in fact registered. She smiled as they began to move closer to the platform, so she would be able to see better and Naruto, so he didn't have to fight the crowd when it was his time to duel. T grit her teeth as Joey hung close and she wanted to speak with Naruto without the other boy becoming obnoxious like he was known to do. She felt Naruto squeeze her hand and she gave him a smile. It's okay. Just lost in thought. She said. He looked at her for a moment, then nodded. Here we got. The first duel is. The screen held the names of 2 duelists. Joey Wheeler. V.S. Brett Kennedy. Naruto watched as T's friend strutted. He didn't like the other boy, he reminded him of a couple of his past classmates. Naruto sighed as he watched. Joey lost the coin toss and went first. He put a face-down monster and a face-down spell or trap card. Brett went next. He drew, placed a field card Rising Air Current Magic Field and then summoned Harpy's brother for 1,800-600 to the field in attack position. With the field card his stats became for 2,300-200 and Kennedy attacked destroying Joey's face down. He placed a spell trap face down and ended his turn. Joey's LP. 8,000. Joey's monsters. 0 cards. Spell trap. 1 face down. Brett's LP. 8,000. Brett's monsters. Harpy's brother ATK 2300. Spell trap. Rising Air Current, Field Magic, 1 face down. Naruto shook his head as Joey drew a card. He put down the spell card Rejeki, spell, and destroyed Brett's Harpy brother, then summoned the monster Axe Raider for 1,700-1150 and go for a direct attack, but Brett flipped his spell trap card to reveal negate attack, trap counter, and Joey ended his turn. Brett drew his card. He placed a Harpy Lady for 1,300-1,400 in attack mode and with the field her stats went to for 1,800-1,000 and had her attack the Axe Raider, destroying it, and Joey took the 100-point difference to his life points. Brett ended his turn with no other actions. Joey's LP. 7,900. Joey's monsters. 0 cards. Spell trap. 1 face down. Brett's LP. 8,000. Brett's monsters. Harpy Lady ATK 1,800. Spell trap. Rising Air Current, Field Magic. Joey drew a card and put it down right away. Zambira the Dark, for 2,100-500. Naruto winced as he used it to destroy the Harpy Lady, and Brett took the 300-point difference. He remembered the effect about Zambira, it lost 200 ATK points each time it attacked. Joey ended his turn, and it was all Brett's as he drew his card. He put down another Harpy Lady, a face-down card in the spell trap zone and ended his turn. Joey's LP. 7,900. Joey's monsters. Zambira the Dark ATK 1,900. Spell trap. 1 face down. Brett's LP. 7,700. Brett's monsters. Harpy Lady ATK 1,800. Spell trap. Rising Air Current, Field Magic, 1 face down. Joey drew and put down Hero of the East, 3 1,100s 1,000 card. He used Zambira to destroy Brett's Harpy Lady, and Brett took the 100-point difference. Zambira's attack dropped another 200 points. Hero of the East attacked and Brett gritted his teeth taking the direct hit. Joey ended his turn. Brett drew his card and Naruto saw the boy's face as he ended his turn without putting a card down. Joey's LP. 7900. Joey's Monsters. Zambira the Dark ATK 1700, Hero of the East ATK 1100. Spell Trap. 1 face down. Brett's LP. 6500. Brett's Monsters. 0 cards. Spell Trap. Rising Air Current, Field Magic, 1 face down. That isn't good. He muttered. T's touch had him look at her. He gave her a smile and told her he was fine. They turned back as Joey already having drawn his card put down Baby Dragon, 3 1200 700, but with the field effect his stats became 3 1700s 300 and Joey opened up with his monsters and Brett went to his knees as his life points were hit by all 3 of Joey's monsters. Joey ended his turn. Brett drew and put down Fisher, spell, card, and Hero of the East was destroyed. Brett ended his turn again without a monster card on the field. Joey's LP. 7900. Joey's Monsters. Zambira the Dark ATK 1500, Baby Dragon ATK 1700. Spell Trap. 1 face down. Brett's LP. 3700. Brett's Monsters. 0 cards. Spell Trap. Rising Air Current, Field Magic, 1 face down. Joey drew his card and just did a direct attack with Baby Dragon. Brett's life points went down to 2000. Joey ended his turn. Brett drew a card and hissed. He looked at the judge. I surrender. He said. I have nothing to fight with. Winner, Joey Wheeler. The crowd cheered and Joey soaked in the praise as he collected his cards. D looked at Naruto. What are you thinking? He didn't really show much. I'll have to see the other rounds. Would you like another water? D nodded and Naruto wandered off as Joey approached. Hey T. What do you think, huh? Nice duel. Ah. I didn't need my red eyes. The guy was a pushover. T didn't like the side of Joey. Where's that guy? Naruto went to get me another bottle of water. And he isn't some guy, Joey. He's my boyfriend. D, come on, it's me. She fought the urge to slap him and her friend was saved from having a handprint on his face the rest of the night as Naruto came up and slipped an arm around her waist. Here you go. He said handing her a bottle of water. Joey remained quiet as T leaned into Naruto and they watched the other matches. Naruto wasn't impressed and neither was Joey as the duelists seemed to be low level and had too many weak cards or too many high-powered cards with no way to put them on the field. The MC stood on the stage. Alrighty then. Hang on folks, we have a local celeb here. We heard he was out of action, but he's here tonight and ready to fight. Put your hands together for Naruto the Fox. Naruto sighed at this. Great. He just couldn't have said my name as I wrote it down. Suck it up kiddo. From the looks of the duelists here, it's going to be you and the Wheeler kid. Kyuubi said as Naruto kissed T's cheek and headed for the stage. He looked at the monitor and saw his opponent was a middle-aged man. At least he's got some experience. Naruto thought seeing the win-loss record. He's got about 20 wins and nearly as many losses. Grind him up. We want Wheeler. Kyuubi thought as the MC pumped up the crowd. He glanced over and saw T was nearby and she smiled and mouthed kick his ass. That's motivation for you to win right here kiddo. Naruto Uzumaki the Fox. P.S. Ale Brass. I'm your opponent. I might not be as strong as many of the top dogs, but I've got enough skill to put you out of the game. You ready kid? Dale asked. Let's duel. Naruto said as the MC flipped the coin. Naruto won with tails and went second. Dale started with a face-down monster and ended his turn. Naruto drew his card and looked at his hand. He put Mystical Fox Girl, 4800s 2000 in attack position and then added Konjaku Monogatari, Magic Equip, which raised her attack and defense by 300 points. Go and get him. Naruto said and she attacked Dale's face-down monster. Naruto winced as it flipped over to reveal a Wing Egg Elf, 3500s 1300 in defense mode. Naruto took the 200-point difference on his life points and cursed. He ended his turn. Dale's LP. 8000. Naruto's LP. 7800. Dale's Monsters. Wing Egg Elf Def 1300. Naruto's Monsters. Mystical Fox Girl ATK 1100. Dale's Spell Trap. 0 cards. Naruto's Spell Trap. Konjaku Monogatari, Magic Equip. Naruto watched as Dale drew, then sacrificed Wing Egg Elf and put down the monster card Garvas, 6 1700. He winced as Dale had him attack his Fox Girl and destroyed her, and Naruto took the 900-point difference to his life points. Dale ended his turn with a face down in the backfield. Naruto closed his eyes and drew a card. He smiled at the cards in his hand. First I use the card Fox Ent, Magic, and Steal Your Monster. Dale watched as a mist surrounded his monster and it switched sides of the field. I then put the card Power of Human Sacrifice for 2000 to the field. I then activate the card special effect and sacrifice Gravas and add its attack and defense points to those of the human sacrifice. For 2700. No way. Dale yelled. Ruling. The MC looked at the books and came back. It's legal, dude. It's a rare card, one of 9 in existence. The man said. He looked at Naruto. I just know you're going to make me work more than I want to. Naruto shrugged and then grinned. Attack him directly. Dale went to his knees at the shocks from the direct attack. I put 2 cards face down and end my turn. Naruto said. Dale's LP. 4000. Naruto's LP. 6900. Dale's monsters. 0 cards. Naruto's monsters. Power of Human Sacrifice ATK 4000. Dale's Spell Trap. 1 cards. Naruto's Spell Trap. 2 face down. Dale drew a card and put a monster card face down and ended his turn, mumbling about unfair new cards. Naruto ignored him and drew a card. I summon Outlaw Kitsune Knight for 1950s1100 in attack mode and set the card Polymerization and combine Outlaw Kitsune Knight with Fox Rider for 1400s 1200 to bring forth Ronin Fox Rider A 2850s 2300. Ronin, take out that face down. Not so quick. Dale said and flipped his spell trap card to reveal negate attack, trap counter. Naruto nodded and ended his turn. Dale's LP. 4000. Naruto's LP. 6900. Dale's monsters. 0 cards. Naruto's monsters. Power of Human Sacrifice ATK 4000, Ronin Fox Rider ATK 2850. Dale's Spell Trap. 0 cards. Naruto's Spell Trap. 2 face down. Dale drew a card and seemed to relax as he put down the spell card Rejeki, spell. Naruto flipped a card of his own to reveal a negate attack. Dale growled and ended his turn. Naruto drew a card but didn't put anything down, despite Kyuubi telling him to slaughter the whiny bitch boy. Hour of Human Sacrifice, direct attack. The crowd watched as the faceless monster destroyed Dale's life points and Naruto was declared the winner. Naruto rejoined T and was hugged. Not bad. Where'd you get your deck, if I might ask? Joey said, watching the pair. A friend put it together for me and helped get me started. Naruto said. Some friend. A specialized deck and rare cards. Naruto shrugged as he held on to T. There was an intermission as other duelists got some time to practice, while the tournament duelists made adjustments to their decks if they wanted to. Naruto was content with T in his arms, ignoring Joey who was starting to ask some rude questions. T had enough of her friend and told him off just before he went to duel. The rest of the tournament was a foregone conclusion as Joey and Naruto stomped their opponents until it was the time for the finals. Naruto used a combination of his known cards to get there, the Winged Vixen and assorted cards made short work, he had to use a couple of his elemental foxes, but nothing new was seen. He stood with T across the field from Joey. Be careful. She said. Joey hasn't had to use any of his big monsters yet. He was taught by Yugi and his grandfather. She warned. Naruto nodded. I've barely been forced to use my cards as well. Maybe this is the test I've been looking for. She touched his cheek and he looked at her. Win or lose, I'm proud of you. She said, and as her thumb traced his whisker mark she smiled. But the reward for winning will be greater. She kissed Naruto to the delight of the crowd who have whistles and catcalls, while Joey's eyes darkened and he stepped onto the field, his cards ready. At the coin toss, Naruto won and opted to go second. The finals of the tournament were going to prove to be interesting. Unseen by normal eyes, 2 dual spirits looked at one another. The Kyuubi sneered at the Red Eyes Black Dragon, both knew this was going to be something to see. The MC had the mic. Let's get ready to duel. The crowd went wild as the duelists looked at one another. What if Naruto was sealed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sasuke bashing end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.